Things to be aware of organizing e-racing championship without race room. First, no automated leaderboard would always be labor-intensive. Elimination round would be the only way to filter the winners. Having the participants adhering to the schedule would be a huge test. We need to know the task will get bigger when participants increases. Time-consuming. Organizing e-racing championship without race room, it's all need run manually to take down the participants and eliminate them from first round group to final round group. Because it is manual human labor, there bound to be human error. Manual human labor would have a price tag for the man-hours involved. New participants would never have chance. The e-racing clubs in the world will send their best racers to participate the race. But that means your championship exposure is just limited to the e-racing clubs. Why choose race room? Our 3E official championship have fully automated leaderboard. Participants can log in anytime to leave the fastest lap time within the qualifying period. Each of the racers already have their ranks with race room. Next, save time. You can have unlimited amounts of participants in a super short time to qualifying them to final race. Race room can cover unlimited amount of participants. We have a full automated esports ecosystem from qualifying leaderboard to broadcast AI. Besides, race room's free contents lets everyone can participate to the race.
That was Mozart.
Hi and welcome to E-Racing GP. This is Global Edition 8. My name's Alex Young and next to me is Amo Hazik. We have been the long-time commentators here at E-Racing GP, and you are watching Global Edition 8. This is the 8th season that we have done this, and we are now at round 4 of 4, our last round of Global Edition 8.
Yeah, it's been quite an exciting season, especially with the bronze and copper classes still yet to be decided. It's still all to play for between those classes.
That's a very good point. Copper class is coming up. We got bronze, silver, and gold afterwards. But let's look at the standings of copper class. And you can check it out right now. Look at that. John McGregor is finally at the front now. He takes over from Chris Chu, who was leading the championship for a long time, as well as Keith Moe. And really, all three of them have a chance of winning the championship today. Even you can't really exclude Jack McGregor there in 4th position as well. Ronaldo Julie from Indonesia in 5th. Adam Kondratic in 6th. Kenneth Wong, he hasn't done all the rounds in 7th. Mohammed Asif in 8th. Jet Lee Russell in 9th. And Thomas DeVito from the States in 10th. Onto the Teams Cup standings, and you can see Stratos Motorsports has a really healthy lead. I don't think they're going to get beaten. The Academy, FSA Racing, Team Rising Line, and Z Challenger Racing from Hong Kong in 5th. Onto the Nations Cups, and Malaysia, wow, dominating right now. They've won the last 2 Nations Cups, so looks like they're going to make it 3 in a row. Philippines has won a few Nations Cups as well, but they're there in 3rd place, with Singapore there in 2nd. All right, so we're at round 4. We're driving the copper class, which is the Aquila CR1 cars, and you can see that we are in Hockenheim. So watch Hockenheim right now. Let's see if we can go down and have a look. And there they are.
And that's Keith Moe looking like he's riding a motorcycle right now. The way he was leaning into the corners. We are watching Keith right now. Look at that. Yeah. The amount of commitment that he's having here. And remember, he's actually on the cusp of winning the title too, you know?
Yeah. He got sick in last round, didn't he? He was round 4 hit. Got a little bit sick. So missed round 4. And that's kind of put him... He's still in there for the championship, though. He's still there in 3rd position. If he has a good round, wins both races, really anything can happen. We've seen that in copper class a lot. Yeah,
it's kind of put a span into the works with the amount of work that he has to do for this round, because coming into this round, he is about 20 points behind John McGregor. So 49 up for grabs for the entire weekend. He's going to need to get that pole position and race win for the first race in order to set himself up properly for that final race of the season.
That's right. Okay, you can see the cars going around. We are, of course, at Hockenheim. There you have a look at that. 16 corners, and you can see it's in a clockwise direction. You can see several arrows around the track, but the main arrow on the bottom left, that's the start-finish straight. See through all these corners. Turn 2 is a great overtaking spot. Also into turn 6, the hairpin, that's a great spot for overtaking. And we've also seen a lot of overtaking into turn 8 at Mercedes. Now the last sector of the track, from turn 11 to 15 and 16, you need a really good flow, but they're really hard to overtake there. So you need to try and be close to the cars in front before you start another lap. Let's go now for a hot lap with Ayman Hakim, who's going to take us around this track, in his own words, in a DTM car.
As you can see here, it's a hot lap mode. Time attack mode there. Starting on the 3rd sector, last 2 corners here, you want to bring as much speed as possible down into the start finish straight here. You want to place your car far right to the left here to get into the first turn here. Get it right, get all the speed. Get it wrong, you will lose all the speed here. As we can see here, get it a little bit of wrong there, losing a little bit of time. Into the 2nd corner here, you want to spot your braking a little bit early here. Clip the apex and get a little bit sliding here. That's not what you want. You want to get a good exit here, because this is where the make or break of your race here. It's a long left parabolica. This is where you want to plan your overtake, plan your move, plan your dinner, plan where you want to go after the race. But do not forget, there's a braking zone into this hairpin here. You don't want to miss it and go back to the forest behind there. It's not ideal. It's not ideal where you want to go. As we exit the hairpin there, nice and smooth on the throttle here. Into the right-hand king here, into the Mercedes arena here, Mercedes curve. We're driving a Mercedes. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of crowd cheer into the weekend here. As you can see here, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, a little bit of lift off to the right-hand corner here. You want to eliminate the understeer. As we can see here, 4th gear, 5th gear, down into the closing to the stadium section here. You want to clip inside as much as possible here. 4th gear, 3rd gear, down to 2nd here. This is where Sebastian Vettel lost his lead in the 2018 German Grand Prix here. We don't want to do that as well. As we can see here, down into the double last 2 corners here. There's a drag strip around the left hand side there if you want to know. And yeah, here we go. That's the lap of me in Hockenheimring.
Okay, well, that's a great lap there by Ayman Hakim. He's doing a bit of coaching today, so he's not actually driving. Really good driver. What did you think of that lap?
Yeah, it was actually quite comical the way he tries to say that you shouldn't miss the breaking point to go into the forest. And I would say that I kind of missed the old layout of the Hockenheimring, especially when it went straight into the forest, 320 kilometers per hour. Those were like prime days of F1 when they really maxed out the cars back then.
I have to agree. I'm very fortunate to have done that racetrack. It is amazing. You know, you just flat out through the forest, a bit of a tunnel vision. The track was actually pretty narrow back then. Maybe 12 meters. It's, you know, you look at the track right now, you can see this is how wide it is. It was very narrow back then, and those speeds, it was quite phenomenal.
Indeed.
Okay, onto the on-track action. We're qualifying is just about to start. We're looking at John McGregor there right now. He is our championship leader, so he is the guy we have to focus on. You know, he's a long-time go-karter. Him and Chris Chu actually, who second the championship. They actually kart together a lot in Singapore. So yeah, you know, very good friends, and I think it's going to be a very good friendly rivalry today.
Indeed. And I'm not sure where Chris is from originally, but I remember reading John McGregor. He's from Aberdeen. So some Scots here as well, like
Yeah,
just like the Haydens. Sorry, the Millers.
That's right, and the Millers have left now. But let's focus on Chris Chu right now. Chris Chu's second in the championship. He was leading coming into this last round, but now he's down in second position as he goes across the start-finish line into turn 1.
Yep, and coming up now to that first turn that we mentioned about Ayman Hakim, you need to really sling it out to that far left-hand corner on the curbs to actually get a wider entrance to open up the corner much faster, and then you get a good exit speed. Coming out to turn 2, it's crucial here as well that you don't slip it. So here we see, that's a nice view of the map that we rarely see often, but here we go. Coming out now to the Parabolica then. This is where they opened up the DRS back when it was the DTM in Season 5. This one, you're going to have to overtake naturally using the slipstream and try to outbrake the person coming up into the hairpin, Alex.
Yeah, this long, flat-out corner. You got to pick which line to go. If you can cover the inside, because in this here is that hairpin you're just talking about. Down on the brakes, pull out the anchors. Ooh, that looks really good, actually. Got that car rotated quite well, and it's got a good exit. Chris looked very good there. Now out of that corner there, and then now down this long, flat-out right-hander, easy flat through there. We often see cars going side by side through here because of getting mixed up at the hairpin into the Mercedes arena. Now this left-hander here. That looks really good, actually. Chris is looking quite good at this point.
Yeah, I like the way that the car hooked up. I think because he uses a bit of traction control to just help the car slip, but not completely turning off that the car will slide a lot. So really then, he has got this car hooked up quite nicely.
That's right. Okay, good lap there in the stadium section now. Purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2. That means he's fastest of all. Okay, this is still early days in qualifying with 4 minutes still to go, but it looks very neat. Looks right on the limit. Can definitely tell Chris has been practicing a lot. He's loved the new rig he's had, which runs, as I say that, commentator's curse, runs a bit wide at the apex there. That will have cost him a little bit of time there. You can see he's a bit annoyed with himself. The penultimate corner did not quite get it right there, but not too much time. But that's fastest of all, 146.8. And let's go back to John McGregor and see how he's doing. Oh, John's going through the last corner. Oh, gets a bit too squirrely, a bit too aggressive through the penultimate corner. So both title protagonists there making mistakes in the last couple of corners. And John goes across the line.
No time.
No time. So he must have had the lap time
invalidated because he went through wide onto the drag strip. So that's where he might have actually completely invalidated the time. But he didn't dilly-dally now. He's just going to go straight away for a second lap. And hopefully for him, he might actually get it up there close to his championship rival, because can you imagine, after slogging it through the entire season, only to have that one final qualifying session that you mess it up and you completely ruin your chance of actually batting for the title, Alex.
Oh, that is true. But, you know, with these cars, you can do 2 laps in a row quite easily. And I think it's a smart thing to do 2 laps instead of just starting again, because now he's in the flow. He knows what the car feels like. He can feel the tires under him. He knows where the limits are. As he brakes now, really dives into the apex there.
Quite narrow.
Yeah, very different line from Chris Chu. Seems to have made it work, though.
John McGregor, yeah, compared to Chris Chu, Chris was a bit more like he hooked it through the corner on the apex. John's just trying to get it much shallower and then try to actually get a tighter exit. But theoretically, it should be about the same time. But I hazard to guess that Chris Chu's exit was slightly better there.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. Looking a bit better. Not getting the splits coming up at the moment, unfortunately. I wonder if... oh, there we go. Sector 2. Ooh, 7/10 down. That's his fastest Sector 2 so far, but he's 7/10 down on Chris Chu. So Chris Chu's lap looks like a really good lap as Renato Julie has just gone second.
Wow.
So that's a good lap. Only a 10th off the championship. Well, second in the championship, Chris Chu.
Indeed, and Ronaldo then after that win last time out, his first ever win in ERGP, he seems to have been rejuvenated and have a good vein of form here.
Yeah, so let's see if we can do that again today. Julie always looking quick, but making mistakes. Maybe that win will give him the confidence to go on a bit of a run today. But there we go. John McGregor goes over the line, and P5. That's not what he wants. He's going for another lap, but let's just go look on board with Ronaldo Julie. Let's see how he's doing. Sector 1, he's a 10th off. But let's see what he can do in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Oh, runs wide of the apex. Oh, that's going to cost him a 10th, maybe 2, because it will compromise his exit out of that corner as well. If Julie can nail Sector 2 and Sector 3, perhaps, maybe he can get his first pole position in the Copper class.
Indeed, and looking good so far. He's only about a 10th off, so personal best, I'm not sure how Chris Chu actually got faster because he's only about 1/10, about 1.2 tenths ahead. So really then, we have to wait and see in the second sector whether or not Julie has actually gained the time. He's actually fastest. He's gotten purple here through Sector 2, Alex.
Wow, well, look at that. Okay, so he still has to make up a little bit of time, but he's got plenty of corners still to do it. If he can nail this last sector, because we know Chris had a small mistake at the penultimate corner, maybe he can do it. Okay, looks good through that long hairpin. Now up to penultimate corner. Very easy to get it wrong here because you get a lot of understeer, but Julie nails it. That looks really good. Goes through the last corner, and Ammo, will this be good enough for pole?
I would say yes, but let's see if he actually has gained time on Chu. He comes across the line now, and no. Is it? Yes, it is.
No.
Oh, no, it's not. Chris Chu is actually out of our sight. It's gone faster as well by about 0.02 of a second.
Wow, how close is that? So at the death there, both of them going a little bit quicker, but Chris Chu takes pole position by the slightest of margins over Ronaldo Julie there. Keith Moe had a good recovery there to get up to P3. He's third in the championship. Let's not forget about him. Adam Quadrilochus with another good lap time there to P4. Ozair, new driver in P5. Ahmed Pullman in 6. Nasser Ashraf in 7. John McGregor all the way down in P8 with his son Jack McGregor down in P9. Both McGregors not having a good qualifying session. And Al Gomez from America rounds up the top 10.
Oh, that's not good. That is not good for the McGregors here to be well behind their main championship rival.
Okay, there. Let's have a look there. Chris Chu there getting ready. Couple minutes, well, not a couple minutes, 45 seconds to go. They'll be selecting the tires, making sure they get the correct fuel. Fuel is normal for the Copper class. Tire wear is ×2, so they do have to watch out a little bit for tire wear, although 15-minute races should be okay.
Yeah, it should be cakewalk for these guys, especially the fact that the tires will just wear up, but they won't fall off the cliff completely compared to ×4, and especially if they are in Formula cars. So then, all to play for in the championship between John McGregor, Chris Chu, and Keith Moe. And then Chris Chu has actually gained 5 crucial points to actually get the championship standings now back up to just 7 coming into the final round of the final 2 races of the season here.
Yep, we are at Hockenheim. My name's Alex Jung. I'm here with Amo Azik, and Des will be joining us later.
Right then, red lights on the gantry. We wait until they go out, and when they go out, the final round of Copper class will get underway just about now. And it looks as though Renato Julie has actually got a bit of a jump on Chris Chu. Chris Chu then will try to defend coming to turn 1, and he doesn't. He doesn't actually. Chris Chu has actually... No, he does. Oh, they have the exact same car, so confused there for a second. But Renato Julie then with a good second phase of the start to get right to the back of Chris Chu. But it's Chris Chu who holds on coming through turn 1 as they now head to turn 2 here. Oh, chops across. They don't want to get involved here, especially Chu. He might lose the championship if he gets involved here. But it looks as though it's a clean start for the rest of the field.
Oh, and then Renato Julie goes wide on the exit there. Yeah, very wise of Chris to give him a bit of space at turn 2. But they're coming together again, side by side. Julie on the outside for this left-hander, but he will be on the inside for the next right-hander.
Yeah, Ronaldo then on the inside, coming up to the hairpin here. Does he make it? Oh, there's Keith Moe going onto the inside. Oh, they've actually touched. And Ronaldo Julie's been spun around. Keith will take the lead, but there will definitely be some protest there after that. That was such an unfair move from Keith. He could have actually backed it off there, unless, of course, he actually just outbraked himself and smacked to the side of Ronaldo Julie. But whatever it is, that has opened up the rest of the field to come by. And then, Oh, there we go. Julie's hit the back of Ahmed Poman, and more chaos coming out to the Mercedes arena.
Okay, Julie needs to calm down now. It's not over yet. There's still the first lap of the race. He has some pace to recover. He just needs to make sure it doesn't go off as Poman goes wide.
And through all of that, Jose Al-Qadri, the driver who made his debut last time out in Portimao, he's up to second. Can you believe that if he actually gets a win here? So here's Jose, a privateer for now, but he'll definitely be spotted by some teams after this performance, for now at least.
Yeah, really, really good first lap. Keith Moe, though, then P1, he is third in the championship. He's not out of this championship yet, so he's done exactly what he needed. Super aggressive, though, at the hairpin turn 6. Do you think that was okay?
No, I don't think he will definitely be getting off the hook for that one, because that was a late braking maneuver that he tried to actually get into the inside, hit the back of Julie, and just caused Julie to have a half spin. So really then, Keith Moe, he's driving on borrowed time right now, if we could say so.
Yeah, okay. So Moe there, he is leading the race now. So possibly having a penalty. I think he needs to try and get a nice gap and win this race, because if he does get a 5-second or a 10-second penalty, he needs to try and make sure he has a big gap to try and get the best position he can.
Jose Al-Qadri then. Al-Qadri in second place, and with a brilliant start as well. He was in 5th place, so he made it through after all that scuffle up the hairpin to be up to second right now. But he's got a championship protagonist in third, with fellow drivers who are eager to get their first podium, and of course Reynaldo Julie to consolidate his previous Portimao result as they come to the hairpin now. Chris Chu then being attacked left, right and centre.
Wow, okay, so Chris Chu there down to 4th, Reynaldo Julie up to P3. You can tell that Chris is driving with the championship on his mind. He just doesn't want to stay out of trouble right now.
Oh! Well, there we go. Commentators goes at his finest, Alex. He got whacked there by Amir Pomin, but luckily he survived, only just losing one position now to Jack McGregor. And oh, Jack cuts across him. This is not looking well for Chris Hugh here. He is now with his championship rival, John McGregor, and they're both now having good final rounds here.
Yeah, he needs to calm down right now, because Keith Moe's just running away the front. Pullman, really clumsy mistake there to tap out the championship leader. Yeah, so that's not good indeed.
Ooh. And Ali Gomez, there you go. He goes onto the inside of Chris Chu and takes a position away from him. Or does he? They're going to go side by side through the final sector here. It's been a bit messy so far. We did anticipate that if it's actually quite messy for the final few races of the season, we're going to have extra stringent stewarding to compensate for that. Shall we say, Alex?
Absolutely. So Chris Chu there, he's down. He's down in 7th position, but he has to remember his title rival, John McGregor, is 2 positions behind him, so not all is lost. However, it's looking really good for Keith Moe. Wow, the young Malaysian, only 9 years old, running away at the front. And assuming he doesn't get any penalties, this is looking very good for him. Although Reynaldo Julie's catching up. Look at that.
Immediate revenge. I would say that Julie will be on his mind, because he really got whacked while coming to the hairpin there. I think Keith will definitely raise his hand up and apologize for that, because he did outbrake himself into that crucial hairpin spot right now, about a second ahead. So Keith then has to keep his eyes peeled at front and from behind in case Julie might retaliate.
Okay, there's Keith Moe going through. Have to go back down to Jack McGregor. There, Jack McGregor in the yellow car, followed closely by Adam Kondraloches. So Kondraloches obviously trying to make his way up as well. So going through these next few corners. And there is Jack McGregor in the yellow car, holding off P4. This is great for him. He is, he's 4th in the championship. That's not so bad for him, actually. This will help, because he's in front of the guys in 1 and 2, but of course not Keith Moe. Yeah,
and Keith Moe still has that dangling guillotine above his head with a 5-second penalty potentially, because that was quite a clumsy error on his part, so he wouldn't want to actually scupper his championship chances by doing more of that in the second race. So keep an eye out for the stewarding after this when we announce the championship results. But still, it's only about a second ahead. And with 10 minutes left to go here, it might still be all change. Coming out to the final corner now, Jack McGregor then under pressure from Kondraloches. He goes a bit wide, and it seems as though a lot of drivers like to take the final 2 corners wide there using the drag strip.
Yeah. Okay, let's look further a bit back. We got Andre. He's there. Andre there in in 6th position, and you got Chris Chu coming down the back of him. So that's the next driver that Chris Chu will have to overtake.
And he got a slow penalty there for a second. And Adri didn't even have a good qualifying session just now. He failed to qualify. So really then, he's actually made his way up through the field quite nicely as well, up to P6. And it's shown again that he has the capability to race against these guys. When normally he does time trials during the
Yeah.
racing by himself, to be honest.
Yeah, only 6 years old. Adri, yeah, it's pretty special to see him up there. Good job by him. Yeah, definitely a talent for the future.
Indeed, and he's under pressure now for Chris Chu. It looks as though he has actually made the door quite open. Oh, he actually closed there, a bit like Michael Schumacher against Jacques Villeneuve in '97 at Jerez. But luckily for both of them, one of them didn't go into the gravel trap that time. So Adrian, slight collision with Chris Chu, but I think that's one hit that Chris Chu's willing to take.
Yeah, Chris Chu up to 6th now. So that's a good... Oh, and Adri sails it down the inside. He's going to run wide. I should allow Chris Chu to come back at him, and he does. Chris was very smart there, just to let him just go right by and got him back on the undercut.
Applauding Chris Chu for that one. And I was about to say, it was great to see Adri fight back, but unfortunately he just overcooked it. Now they're back up to the front. About 0.5 of a second between Keith Moe and Renato Juli, and Keith is under severe pressure. Look at that, he just went a bit squirrely coming out of the Sachs curve where Vettel went off in 2018. Oh, Juli nearly ran to the back of him. Well, if that was pressure personified, that was Keith Moe actually under real severe pressure. But that time around also Renato Juli also made a few mistakes, and look at that, he went into the gravel trap.
Yeah. Renato Juli doing what he always does, which mid-race makes a couple mistakes. And it's just allowed Keith Moe a little bit of breathing space at the moment.
Indeed. But all the while then, we're watching these two. The guy in 3rd place, Jose Al-Qadri, is now only 2.5 seconds behind. If anything were to happen to the front two, he is on his way to actually get his first win of the season in only his 2nd ever round in this championship. So really then, that's quite a nice start for him.
Yeah, great start by Jose. Back at the front, Renato Juli closing in again. He's got some really good pace, hasn't he, Juli?
He does, but it's just that it's unfortunate he has not been able to get up to the back of Keith Moe. And we saw just now how he overcooked it coming to the final corner. Plus, he hits the back of Keith that time. He made a mistake coming into the final corner as well into the gravel trap. So really then, he's going to have to calm himself if he wants to get his 2nd win in a row here. And Keith, likewise, he knows he's going to get a penalty. So really then, he should just really back it off. He shouldn't really fight him too hard.
Yeah, because then he's going to go back into the crowd, isn't he? The crowd of drivers, and he'll finish further back. As they go side by side, Juli gets bundled out of the way. Moe still in front.
I think I would hazard to guess that Juli may not know that it was Keith that hit the back of him. He might have thought it was just some random blue car that hit him. But either way, Juli racing as if that Keith doesn't have a penalty looming over him. As we now head into the final 6.5 minutes here, we already have passed the halfway point in this first race at the Hockenheimring in the copper class, and looks as though it's going to go all the way to the end here. It's going to be a grandstand finish, just like the grandstands in Hockenheim here.
Yeah, so Moe defending everywhere at the moment. He's even defending a little bit into this penultimate corner. That's just going to slow him down. It's going to allow the others to catch him up. So, not sure that's the right strategy right now. But anyway, he hangs on to the lead for now.
Hangs on to the lead, but it's not the fastest lap of the race. This is what Keith wants, because he wants that extra 2 points to at least get him up to the back of Chris Chu and John McGregor. He might be ruining the fact that it was something out of his control, his own health, that actually caused him to miss that previous run. So now he's on the back foot here and under severe pressure from Juli. And we saw just that time, out of shot, Juli was only 2 tenths behind and nearly got to the back of him. I think he might have actually compromised his exit, and now Keith has gotten a bit more breathing space here coming through the parabolica.
That's right, just got a little bit too slow, a little too close to the apex. He's carrying lots of speed into the apex, but when the car in front slowing it down to try and make sure he gets better exits, that can mess you up a bit. Juli there looking at the outside, braking super late. Looking at the switchback, not going to get it this time.
Oof. Well, apart from the switchback, there we go, a slow penalty for Keith Moe for running wide there, and that's going to really compromise him if he actually got multiple warnings, which increase over time. So if it's first time 0.5, then it's 1, and it would just increase by every single time as Juli tries to actually dive one around the outside, and again, Keith Moe holds on to the inside, but he might have actually gone a bit wide there that time. A bit narrow on the exit, and it looks as though Juli then might just get him through the final sector here.
Yeah, Juli looking to the outside now, saying, come on, give me the space. Whoa, it's going to look all the way around the outside. Nice move by Juli.
Oh, still not done yet, though. They're still side by side coming out to the Sachs curve. You wouldn't want to put 2 cars here. And Keith backs out of it quite nicely and tries to cut back on Juli, but it's Juli's lead now. And Keith then looking as though he is losing sight of the championship here. He has a potential penalty looming, and the cars behind him are not even more than 5 seconds behind. This is going to be disastrous for the young Malaysian.
That's right. Now let's go back and look at the guys in 3rd position. And you can see them all in the shot right now. It shows how close it is. Ozaya then 3rd position. Let's see how Chris Chu is doing. Championship leader. trying to make his way back up, still in P6, and he's got Adam Kondralochis in his sights.
And he could only gain 3 points from this. John McGregor's in 9th, and if he finishes any further higher than P6, the championship gap will only be down to just 2 points. So it's going to go up to the final race of the season here, and Adri is becoming the guy, sorry, not Adri, that's Adam Kondralochis, becoming the guy that's holding the key to him getting more points on John McGregor.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me there. Chris Chu's second in the championship, but the guy actually still leading the championship is John McGregor. Wow. John's not having a great race, didn't qualify so well, didn't have a great first lap, and now he's just struggling to get further into the points.
And he's trying to get past Ali Gomez or Ale Gomez as Keith Moe gets another slowdown penalty. That's not going to do his race up any good as McGregor gets a crucial position on Ali Gomez. He's up to P8, and that will increase the gap by just 1 point between himself and Chris Chu. So that's, I think, about by mental arithmetics, 3 points coming to the final race of the season.
Wow, that's if they stay where there is. Just under 3 minutes to go. Things can still change.
Indeed, and anything can still change in ERGP. They change in the blink of an eye. A flash will just change the whole complexion of the race. As now up in front with 2.5 minutes left to go. Then Reynaldo Julie looking quite comfortable here. It looks as though he has managed his race pace quite well. He has improved. That win probably just took a lot of monkeys off his back. Absolutely,
and he's calmed down as well. He wasn't making the same mistakes he was in the middle of the race, and he's leading that race right now. Although Keith Moe's not going away, right? Keith Moe is still stalking him.
Indeed, by 5/10, but it looks as though Keith's not making any inroads towards him, as this is the guy that we need to watch out for. Second in the championship, Chris Chu, and he's made his way up to 5th place in front of Kondralochis. So now the gap is only just 1 point coming to the final race of the season. So that is all to play for, Alex.
Wow, so Chris Chu. And where will Keith Moe, assuming Keith finishes second, Keith will also close down that gap quite a bit, won't he?
Yeah, but you have to remember, the penalty might be on him, so he might get that 5-second penalty for that rather clumsy challenge on Reynaldo Julie. Maybe rescind it if Julie doesn't have to fight back, because if he wins the race and Keith Moe finishes second, there's no point for him to give the penalty anyway because he's got back to position.
Yeah, well, let's leave it to the stewards. I don't think the stewards look at things like that. They'll just be like, okay, the penalty was a bad one, so this is what's going to happen.
Let's see. Protest will fly, but that will be for formalities afterwards, as Jack McGregor then gets a slow penalty for track limits abuse. But further behind, look at that. Adri's actually challenging Adam Kondralochis, and he gets him. So Kondralochis then loses another position to his fellow Academy driver, Adri. So Adri drives for the Stratos team. But still, what a drive from Adri here after not qualifying to start from all the way at the back of the grid to now up to the middle of the top 10. This is an amazing drive. That's an amazing drive from the 6-year-old.
Yeah, really, really good drive up to P2. Wow. Okay, 48 seconds to go. This will be this lap and one more lap before the end of the race. And Reynaldo Julie is getting really close to Keith Moe now.
Indeed, and Keith Moe then, I don't know. I don't think he can actually make it in this final lap because he's still about 0.5 of a second. And he goes to the gravel trap as well. Goes a bit wide there. That's not going to help his cause. And the gap's now up to the second. So I think he might just have to throw in the towel for the race win on this one. He knows for a fact that the full picture here, he still has a slight chance of taking the title in the final race. But he's going to have to do it hell for leather here if he used to stand a chance of taking the title away from either John McGregor or Chris Chu.
Okay, let's talk about Jack McGregor then. Jack McGregor, who's 4th in the championship and the son of John. He's in P4 and he's got Chris Chu now closing down on him.
Now
he'll be trying to keep Chris behind him.
That'll be interesting. This is like both not only team tactics but also familial tactics, because the son will try to help the father win the championship here, so that'll be interesting. That's the first time. It's called family tactics, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it is indeed. But I think the gap's too big. I think these positions are settled. I think Jack's going to hold off Chris. And at the moment, Chris Chu in 5th. And John McGregor still down there in 8th position, so that's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, I think John McGregor is just going to settle for a good first race of this round, just to actually settle himself in for the second, because he'll know for a fact that he'll start further up from the other championship guys. So that's crucial for him.
Yeah. Okay, so there's John just in the green car. Jack McGregor there now all over the back of Oze. Let's see if Oze can hold on for P3.
And his first podium of the championship, actually. That would be something for him to live by here. We thought that he was not going to start the race just now because he had technical problems with his rig, but he has managed to get that sussed out, and now he's trying to defend a podium here from Jack McGregor and Chris Chu. But meanwhile, up in front, Reynaldo Julie then, where did he come from? From the first 7 seasons of the Global Edition, he could barely get points in. Now, in this Global Edition 8, he's got 2 wins in a row as he comes up to the final corner now. Reynaldo Julie for the Faisal Faf E-Racing Academy takes race 1 for the final round of the season here at the Hockenheimring Copper class. What a win for Reynaldo Julie. Second, Keith Moe, penning a penalty. Third, Ozai Al-Qadri, first ever podium for him in ERGP. Fourth, Jack McGregor. And fifth, crucially then, in front of John McGregor, Chris Chu. So the title then will go into the final round of the season with just 1 point to play for here, Alex.
Wow, so getting that is interesting there. 1 point play for. Can you put your math skills to test and see where, assuming, let's say Keith Moe does finish second, where does that put him in the championship?
Oh, God. Let me try to put that into this Excel sheet I have right now.
Wow, okay, so Keith Moe, if he does finish second, he'll be 82 points. That's 5 points off the championship lead.
5 points to play for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus, how many points is that? 2 points in it between the top 2 in the championship. So it is absolutely close right now as we see the final results from this first race of the Copper class for round 4. It is Reynaldo Julie, Keith Moe, and Ozai Al-Qadri at your podium. Dearie me, what an absolutely tense race. And we're still not over yet. We still have the formalities of stewarding to go by, but this will be provisional results, Alex.
Yeah, provisional results right now. There's Keith Moe. Sorry, no, Chris Chu. We're not going to talk to him just yet because I think, look at him. He's getting a quick drink. Well, he's getting some sweat there.
Yeah.
He's got to get ready for race 2. Reverse grid for race 2. Top 15 reverse. That means the entire grid reversed. Whew, that's going to be a high-pressure situation for the championship rivals.
Yeah.
Any one of these 3 can win it at the moment.
Yeah, and the crucial point is John McGregor is actually ahead of his 2 other championship rivals. So if he actually gets a good start and gets away at the front, that is going to be championship over then. But we cannot count on chickens yet. We still have not seen what will happen until then.
Yeah, so we will try and see what's happening. Just waiting for the server to reassure itself and be happy that everything's happening. And then we will come back to the grid for race 2. Okay, so I know the sound's not coming through for the cars right now, so we'll try and fix that in the break between copper and bronze. And then, hopefully race 2 is coming up. There we are. The cars are lining up on the grid. As you can see them magically teleport from the pit lane onto the grid. Don't need a warm-up lap even.
Right. Pace yourselves, guys. This is going to be one heck of a championship fight here. And according to our Excel sheets, this is going to be 5 points in it between Keith Moe, John McGregor, and Chris Chu as we head now to the final race of the season. Lights on the gantry then. And when they go out, we're going to go away for the last time in Copper Edition. Copper class for Global Edition 8. And we're underway. And it's Ahmed Pomin who's on pole with Clay Vernal in second place, and it looks as though a good start there from Pomin. He takes the lead coming into turn 1. But what's going to happen between the championship rivals? We're looking at Chris Chu, and Chris Chu then has actually defended off Keith Moe and the rest of the field there. But John McGregor has had a good start. He's gained 2 positions up at the front as we come up now to turn 2. So what's going to happen here? Is Chris Chu going to get it up to the back of John McGregor? It looks as though McGregor's actually lost a couple of positions, and now the 2 championship rivals are close to each other here, Alex. This is not going to be good for John McGregor, who looked like he was going to be champion-elect coming into this round. Up to the happy now. Let's hope that we don't have any argy-bargy compared to that first race. Nasra Ashraf tried to overtake Clay Vernal as Ahmed Pomin's up in the lead. Oh! McGregor's actually hit someone there. It looks like Ali Gomez. So Ali Gomez has been spun around, and Keith Moe's also involved in that. And that's John McGregor right at the back of the field, Alex.
Wow, so that looks like his championship might be over. Oh, wow, all the way to the back of the grid, the field. Championship leader there on the last race of the season. Where's Chris Chu then? Chris Chu is only 2 places ahead of him in P11.
And he has actually whacked the side of Jack McGregor there, so that's a bit of, I guess, recompense for what happened in the first race by being blocked there. But It's not going well here for Chris Chu, but you know what's going well for someone else? It's Keith Moe. He's actually in front of both of them. If he actually gets a better position now, up to the top 5, that might actually complicate things in the championship.
Yeah, Keith Moe there. Good to see. Well, that's perfect for him. Perfect first lap. The 2 guys he's fighting are now behind him. And P8's still got a lot to do, though. He's got to try and get into the top 3 and get enough points to try and overtake the championship's rivals.
Indeed, and that's the start he could have more than wished for, actually, because after that first lap incident with Reynaldo Giuli and finishing second, he will be hoping that Reynaldo will not be protesting against him as we now come up to turn 1 in lap 2. Keith Moe around the outside there of Jose Al-Qadri, and Jose holds on to P7 for now, but Keith here looking really hungry for a championship fight, and he is going to fight hell for leather here to get that first championship of his young career. Goes around the outside, and that's a brave move there to get up to P7. Brilliant, smart move, but he's going to have to defend on the Parabolica, Alex.
Yeah. Okay, coming down the back straight, Keith Moe still defending.
Defending now from Jose Al-Qadri. Up to the hairpin. Will Jose try to dive one on the inside here? Keith actually defending quite hard. Jose might hit him, and they have touched. Jose might actually push him, shove him out of the way, NASCAR style, and he's gonna have to. No, he's bent. Keith has spun it around, and he's hit Chris Chu on the way out as well. Now that will complicate the championship matters even more. He's gonna have to defend from John McGregor here. The 2 championship rivals are right at the back. In fact, make that 3 because Chris Chu's just inside the top 10. What an absolutely shambolic start for the 3 championship contenders, Alex.
Wow, I've never seen the championship change so quickly amongst 3 potential rivals in a lap, basically, 2 laps. So let's see if Keith is down all the way at the bottom. He's behind John McGregor, the championship leader. Let's see if he can keep calm. This is going to be a big test for him, the 9-year-old. Not quite used to these sort of emotions, I think. Fighting for his first championship at ERGP. But if he can just keep it calm, there's still enough time to try and make some progress. And anything can happen.
Who's that? Who's that spinning? That's Reynaldo Giuli. Oh, that's Giuli. I thought it was Chris Chu for a second because that looked like the exact same car. But yeah, he's going to have to calm himself now. And look at that. He's driving with his knuckles wrapped around there, around the wheel. It goes on the inside. John McGregor. He gets out to P11. This is going to be messy here. And if they could catch up to the rest of the field, that might complicate matters.
Okay, nicely done.
Up now to turn 1. And it looks as though Chris Chu, among the championship contenders, is looking favorable here. He might only get just 2 points for finishing in P9, but those 2 points might be crucial here if we go on count back. As up in front, Ahmed Poman. Didn't expect Poman. Poman. Now, I think it's pronounced Poman because
I'm going to still pronounce it Poman. It's
Poman.
better.
Poman.
Well, he's leading the race anyway.
Yes, and Ahmed leading the way here. That will be his first win of the ERGP season as well, and he'll have plenty of friends watching out from other communities, especially the likes of the Adrenaline Impact guys. They are definitely going to be behind him here as he comes to the Mercedes-Benz Arena. He's looking good. He's 2.3 seconds ahead of Nasr Ashraf Nasaruddin, and for the FSA Racing guy, that will be his best finish of the season as well.
Okay, so Poman in second position. Nasr Ashraf there in second. Adri there in third position. Chris Coe in fourth, and Uze up to fifth, with Jack McGregor in the yellow car there in sixth position. Where are the championship rivals? And the first of the championship rivals is actually Chris Chu right now, and there he is in P9.
And it could only complicate matters here if he actually were to get up one more position. He tries to attack Ali Gomez, one of the guys that was involved in that first lap incident. Oh, he locks up. He actually locks up coming to the Sachs curve. And Chris Chu dives one on the inside, ducks onto the grass, gets one over Clay Vernal. And now that has actually invited Keith Moe and Adam Cordelachis into the fight as well. This is going to get really messy. And Vernal goes even wider there. So Chris Chu then, one more point to add to his tally. That's 3 points on the board, and with countback being counted here, I think he might just be 1 point ahead of John McGregor by season's end, but it's still not over yet. The race is still having 9 minutes to complete here.
Wow, he's going to be over the moon if he can pull this off. Still looking quite good right there. That's Chris Chu there in P8. Currently, with live points, our championship leader. I want to... he survives for now.
Someone spun there. Just now, that was Adri. Adri has actually dropped it coming into turn 2. So, in fact, he's dropped out completely. So, unfortunately for him, that will be not a great way to end the season after such a heroic drive to be up to P3 at one point.
There's John McGregor, who was the championship leader coming into this race. there in P10. Keith Moe, though, has got ahead of him. Oh, and he's not far from Chris Chu at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Now, he will have to get in front of Chris Chu, but he will need to gain 5 points on Chris Chu if he was to stand any chance of overhauling that deficit that he had coming into the final race of the season. And mercifully for him, I think the penalty is off for now as he goes onto the inside of Chris Chu. Oh, that's a brave move, and that will complicate Chris's exit. All the while then, Ali Gomez goes wide, and he gains 2 for 1.
That was a great move by Keith Moe. I mean, you have to be brave, you have to be daring, and he pulled it off. He didn't hit anyone. That was completely legal, and he made 2 places in one go. And Chris Chu now struggling 2 places behind him.
And Ali Gomez then might be the cork in the bottle here for the rest of the championship contenders, because Keith Moe has actually made his way up to P6, and that's Chris Chu fighting with Ender Cortolochis. He's going to get the inside line coming through the final corner, but this is not the race that he wanted. He would love to have been further up in front. He dives into Ender Cortolochis coming to the final corner. Take that, he would say, up to P8. And John McGregor then is coming to play here. He's in P10, so he'll get 1 point, while Chris Chu gets 3. And Keith Moe, I think, will get about 8, if I'm mistaken.
That's enough. That's almost enough, isn't it?
Oh, it would be on tiebreaker though. It will be the first time ever that we have 3 drivers in the championship almost equal on points at the end of the season. That is an amazing storyline.
Yeah, I know we should focus on the leaders as well, but we have to look at the guys fighting for the championship right now. And Chris Chu going around the outside of Chris Coe. Great move. And that's the sort of move you need to pull off if you want to take this championship. And Chris Chu now back up to 7th.
Yeah, indeed. And had to take a bit of a breather there because we still have 7 minutes left to go here, and the great crescendo of the entire season comes to this. And for now, at least, it looks as good as... Oh, someone is the back there. That was actually someone running to the back of Jack McGregor. That's Renaud Julie, and Julie gets 3 positions in one go. He used someone as a break and gain position. That might be a penalty there, Alex.
Yeah, definitely a penalty there. Julie getting frustrated, I think, and making those mistakes again that he tends to make always in the middle part of the race. But yeah, Chris Chu there missing the apex as well, just ahead of Julie. He needs to try and get Gomez, I think, and to just be comfortable. He needs to try and get away from the battle behind him, because if he gets mixed up in that battle again, anything can happen.
Indeed, and it looks as though the race has settled a bit into a smoother rhythm compared to what happened in the first couple of parts. Now we're past the halfway point. We're into the final quarter of the race after this, so if any argy-bargy fireworks was to happen, it's going to happen in the final 5 minutes. So for now, at least, the race has settled just slightly, but it's probably just a calm before the storm.
Okay, so Uzair there in P3. Like you said, just over 5 minutes to go. The yellow car there's Jack McGregor, and the blue car just behind him is Keith Moe. If Keith could overtake these cars and get up to 3rd, that would be perfect for him.
Indeed, that will definitely be perfect for him. But he's got a problem in the form of Jack McGregor right in front, and Jack will know full well that his dad hasn't had the best of rounds here. He might just want to hold off a chief championship rival just to do his dad some favors.
I think unfortunately his dad, John McGregor, is just being a bit too slow today. He was the championship leader, but he's just not been quick enough, I feel. And someone spins!
That's Chu! That's Chris Chu! Chris Chu has had a big half spin, and now that ball is in Keith Moe's court now. That was not what he wanted, and Chris Chu then, with a sigh of disbelief, he just can't believe it. He's just dropped it, but all is not lost yet. He still has 5 minutes to regain the gap back up to John McGregor, but that was not what he wanted coming into the final, into the closing stages of this race, Alex.
Wow, another turn in the championship. Wow, Chris Chu was looking really good half a lap ago, and now he looks out of it already. Does he have enough time to try and claw back up?
I think we might need we might need more than a breather after this. We might just need a nap, because this is just so exciting. It's absolutely amazing how the tail has turned so many times here. It's become a knot in how this championship has played out. But the ball is definitely in Keith Moe's court, and with him, if he can overtake Jose Al-Qadri, that will be the championship in his favor provisionally.
Ooh, Jose there going down the inside of Jack McGregor. Didn't work. But that's allowed Keith Moe to get really close on him. So right now, if you look at the live points, Keith Moe is leading the championship. And he will win this championship. Of course, we need to see how the penalties play out after this race. But he was last. He was plumb last about 5 minutes ago. And he's managed to recover up to P5.
Oh, boy. How a great recovery it is. And for a 9-year-old to be in this high-pressure situation of a championship fight, especially if it's a three-way fight at the top. He has actually handled it quite well here, while the others have fallen by the wayside slightly.
Okay, so I've just got confirmations from our mathematicians that John McGregor is still leading the championship by 1 point from Keith. So Keith does need to get up to P4 or P3 to win this championship.
Yep. In fact, if he actually gets in front of Jose, he gets 2 extra points because it's 8 and 6. So 4th place right now is gonna be the championship for him. So if he gets up there, that will be curtains for the rest of the other drivers. Oh, that's Keith actually sensing an opportunity because Jose is on the inside. Jack McGregor runs a bit wide, and now he's gonna have to overtake Jack here for P4. And if he actually plays it smart and lets the other two whack each other out, that will actually be 3 points for him. But he will hope that the other guys, when they whack each other out, don't drop that many positions.
Okay, so
Jose runs wide. Jose runs a bit wide, and that's it. That's P4, and that will be the championship for Keith Moe.
okay, obviously we won't get too excited because we still have to worry about race 1 and what those penalties will play out to. But yes, at the moment, this should be good enough. John McGregor in P9 though. John McGregor, if he can make a position, look at that, he's all over the back of Adam Kondralochis. If he can take Adam Kondralochis, maybe he plays himself back into the championship fight.
But the problem is he's got Chris Chu right behind him. So if these two were to whack ech other out, that's it. That's the end of the championship too.
Yeah. I think if you're Chris Chu, you're probably saying, John, please take out Adam. Both of you get out of my way.
And there's John, looking rather tense behind the wheel there, doesn't he? He just doesn't look that calm compared to previous rounds.
No, he does not indeed. Looks tense, big time tense. Back at the front though, Keith Moe up to P3, and that's definitely good enough for the championship.
Oh wow, that is actually gutsy driving from Keith. But he played it quite smart actually. He held on to it as Jose goes onto the inside of Jack McGregor. Really late dive, but I think he didn't make that mistake. Yep, he didn't. Jack McGregor now heads around the outside as we come into the Parabolica. This will play into Keith Moe's hands even further because he can gap himself now to this battle.
That's right. It's not enough time to catch P2, but P3 would be nice and secure. Now it all depends on what happens with the guys behind him. And that's what happens right now. John McGregor wasn't able to get past Ando Kondralochis and has lost a bit of ground. And we can actually see Chris Chu now attacking John.
Oh, this is not looking good for them. It's like the floor has been taken away from both of their feet here and has been given to Keith Moe. This is not the championship ending that they would have wanted. That has absolutely gone up in smoke because of the amount of accidents they had in just race 2 alone.
Yeah. Whew. Oh, someone's just gone off. Ronaldo Julius just gone off.
Oh, not again.
Wow, that helps. That helps both McGregor and Chu. So that puts John McGregor back into the championship lead. No,
that's not a bit.
If he can get faster as that. Oh, Chris Chu goes through though.
Oh, that's a brave move. He just shoved John McGregor out wide slightly, and in front of them, it was Kondralochis who actually went into the gravel trap. So I think John might have been distracted by that for a second and didn't see that Chris Chu went to the inside of him. Now the permutations have actually changed again.
So it has to be Keith Moe, I think, that's leading the championship right now. We just have to look at the guys leading the race. That's Amir Poman doing a great job there with Nasser Ashraf there in second position. But there in third position there is Keith Moe. We'll try and get Amir Poman back in a second. But let's look at this championship battle right now. Keith Moe in P3. That looks good for him. Where's Chris Chu? Chris Chu's disappeared.
Oh, he's out! He is actually out of the race. One contact too many, and that's it. That's the end of Chris Chu's championship fight. But it was still on between him and John McGregor, between John McGregor and Keith Moe.
John McGregor's P8, unbelievably. But you got to say, it's going to go to Keith Moe at the moment. Keith Moe, I think, is going to win his first Copper Class championship.
And that's 3 points to 10, because 10 for third place and 3 for 8th. So that's a 7-point swing in favor of Keith. And he was coming to this last round 5 points behind.
Yep. And none of them will get fastest lap. That goes to Amir Poman, who's leading the championship.
Leading the race.
Leading the race. Let's go back to him because he's done a great job at the very front.
Yep, we're going to serenade the champion-elect after this because we still have provisionally some other penalties to get rid of. As Amir actually flashing his lights there. So I think he knows that we're watching him, because he comes out of the Sachs curve here for the final time into the final sector here. And, well, what a surprise. Starting from the front of the grid after a poor race 1, he's going to get his first ever win in ERGP. Flashing the lights here. There we go. That's what you need to do. comes across the line now, and he takes his first win in ERGP. But we had to go back to the championship battle here between Keith Moe and John McGregor. And it looks as though he has gapped Jack here.
Wow, so Keith Moe is going to come over P3, and assuming the penalties don't affect him too badly from race 1, this looks like it could be our championship winner.
Yep, across the line then, provisionally, Keith Moe is the head of the championship, and he finishes third here. Great recovery. He has his hands up in gesticulation. He is absolutely over the moon, and we might just get a word with him here.
Absolutely. There we go. John McGregor there comes over the line. P7. P7, is that enough to take the championship back?
2 points. So 2 points difference between that. So we had to wait until that first race penalties are sorted out. But for now, let's hear Keith.
All right, Keith. So just quick chat with you. Good going. Can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us, but he's probably a little bit dumbstruck, I think. I know his father, Rick, could be just in the corner helping him out. But good job there by Keith. Third in the race. We think at the moment, provisionally, our championship winner.
Yep. And one of the youngest ever, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then, we run through the race 2 results after a absolutely chaotic and shambolic race. Ahmed Pomin is first, second is Nasrud Nasruddin, and third is Keith Moe. That's your podium, followed by Jack McGregor, Ali Gomez, Adrian Condrolochis, John McGregor, Reynaldo Julie, Clay Vernal, and Chris Coe. That's your top 10.
And of course, Chris Chu at the bottom there had the incidents, so he did not get any points there. That's going to be tough for him. Let's see if Keith's still here. Keith, can you hear us? Nah, he hasn't got his head set in. He's just happy as a lamb. All right. But anyway, we've got to go see what happens to the protest. That's part and parcel of racing. We always have to make sure that everything was done fairly. Wow, exciting copper class, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's copper done. We got bronze and then silver and gold combined coming up after this. We'll be right back.
Things to be aware of organizing e-racing championship without race room. First, no automated leaderboard would always be labor intensive. Elimination round would be the only way to filter the winners. Having the participants adhering to the schedule would be a huge test. We need to know the task will get bigger when participants increases. Time consuming. Organizing e-racing championship without race room, it's all need run manually to take down the participants and eliminate them from first round group to final round group. Because it is manual human labor, there bound to be human error. Manual human labor would have a price tag for the man hours involved. New participants would never have chance. The e-racing clubs in the world will send their best racers to participate the race. But that means your championship exposure is just limited to the e-racing clubs. Why choose race room? Our 3E official championship have fully automated leaderboard. Participants can log in anytime to lead the fastest lap time within the qualifying period. Each of the racers already have their ranks with race room. Next, save time. You can have unlimited amounts of participants in a super short time to qualifying them to final race. Race room can cover unlimited amount of participants. We have a full automated esports ecosystem from qualifying leaderboard to broadcast AI. Besides, race room's free contents lets everyone can participate to the race.
Hello everybody, welcome back to E-Racing GP Global Edition Season 8. I go away for 2 rounds, they change the music, they change the titles. Can't trust these fellas whatsoever. Alex Young alongside Des Corkill for the final round of the bronze edition of this season. We've got to mention very quickly though, Alex, the copper class that we've just seen. What a finale. We still don't know the championship because there could well be protests.
Yes, I mean, there was a bit of argy-bargy in the copper class, so we have to check what the protest's done. But I think we saw different championship leaders. I think it switched around like 10 times, 8 times maybe in that race. Drivers going from the front to the back and then back up to the front again. But we think at the moment at least that Keith Moe is our new copper class champion.
We think. We will confirm that later. Let's get on to, though, this edition. This is the bronze edition. And let's have a look at the standings as we come into the final 4th round of the season. Mohammed Zikri leading the way with 58 points, but there are 49 points up for grabs today. So you look right the way down, even down to Chester Lamb. Possibly too much for Edward Wong, but down to P6. I think every one of those guys has got an outside chance at least of making the title.
You are so right there. It looks so close there. This is going to be a great race today.
Mohammed Zikri, though, is the man who is leading it. As to the team standings, Stratos Motorsports, they are running away with things. 371 points over Your Academy on 219. FSA Racing 191. It's great to get the teams involved, though. We need the teams as well as the individual racers to make a success of ERGP or continue the success of ERGP.
And there we have Malaysia running away with it at the front, Des. So I think they're going to be very hard to beat. Singapore in 2nd, Philippines 3rd, Hong Kong in 4th, and Australia in 5.
How, though, isn't it great, though, to see Germany and Great Britain getting the Europeans involved in ERGP? It's exactly what you were chasing when we started this in March of 2020. Right, let's get on to the edition that we're on about now. We mentioned Mohammed Zikri, and there he is in the graphic just below us. And Zikri leading, but by only 8 points. Now, in the Copper edition, we saw a lot of panicking races, it seemed. A lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, a lot of crashes. Zikri's a little bit more experienced, as are all of the guys in this bronze edition.
Yeah, so the bronze edition, they are really, really quick. But having said that, we have seen Zikri made a couple of mistakes in the last 2 rounds. So is Yang Ming Chu. Yang Ming, who's 2nd in the championship, he's made a few mistakes as well. So they have had opportunities to try and really get that championship lead with a bit of a gap. But because of the mistakes in bronze class, a bit like copper class, you mentioned that maybe they're getting a bit nervous because they're getting the business end of the championship. It's happening in bronze class as well. So I can't call this. This could go anyway. Like you said, top 6 have a chance.
From your experience, though, as a real racer, what advice would you hand over to the drivers to actually settle that beating heart?
Yeah, okay, so that is the tough thing. The more races you do, the better you are in clutch positions, in bits that are where everything matters. Because, you know, you're coming into the corner and you know this one mistake in this one corner costs you the championship, and you've done hours and hours and hours, tens of hours preparing for it, and maybe hundreds of hours for the whole championship. So it's very easy to have a yip moment. You have to do a lot of mental preparation. If you just don't have the practice, the mental preparation where you sit still and quiet and you imagine the scenarios and you imagine what you're going to do. So you need to have strategies. You need to have strategies when things go well. You need to have strategies when things don't go well. And you need to think about those moments before you actually get into the race. And you know, Senna was a big fan of this. You know, he talked a lot about meditation and stuff. All these sort of little bits and pieces. It's not a one fit for all, but all these pieces, you need to find out what works best for you.
Excellent stuff. We are going around Hockenheim circuit. Let's just have a look at Hockenheim. I love the parabolica curve, that sweeping left. There's overtaking opportunities there, but then you come into the Mercedes section of the stadium. It's a cracking circuit, Hockenheim.
Absolutely, clockwise, 16 corners. 4.5 kilometers long. You know, yes, turn 2, turn 6, turn 8, Mercedes, you just mentioned. That's where all the overtakings will happen. We can actually go for a hot lap. We got Ayman Hakim right now in the DTM from one of the previous global editions, taking us around.
As you can see here, it's a hot lap mode, time attack mode there. Starting on the 3rd sector, last 2 corners here, you want to bring as much speed as possible down into the start finish straight here. You want to place your car far right to the left here to get into the first turn here. Get it right, get all the speed, get it wrong, you will lose all the speed here. As we can see here, get it a little bit of wrong there. losing a little bit of time into the second corner here. You want to spot your braking a little bit early here. Clip the apex and get a little bit sliding here. That's not what you want. You want to get a good exit here because this is where the make or break of your race here. It's a long left parabolica. This is where you want to plan your overtake, plan your move, plan your dinner, plan where you want to go after the race. But do not forget there's a braking zone into this hairpin here. You don't want to miss it and go back to the forest behind there. It's not ideal. It's not ideal where you want to go. As we exit the hairpin there, nice and smooth on the throttle here. Into the right hand king here, into the Mercedes arena here, Mercedes curve. We're driving a Mercedes. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of crowd here into the weekend here. As you can see here, second gear, third gear, a little bit of lift off to the right hand corner here. You want to eliminate the understeer. As we can see here, fourth gear, fifth gear, down into the closing to the stadium section here. You want to clip inside as much as possible here. Fourth gear, third gear, down to second here. This is where Sebastian Vettel lost his lead in the 2018 German Grand Prix here. We don't want to do that as well. As we can see here, down into the double last two corners here. There's a drag strip around this left hand side there if you want to know. And yeah, here we go. That's the lap of me in Hockenheimring.
Very good stuff as well. I'm an Akeem Tadashi. He's not racing today. We miss his competitiveness. We miss his emotions, and the emotions on the last round of the season are really something to behold. Kelvin Power on board with now. Now Kelvin is one of those with an outside opportunity, 15 points off the lead, but you never know. If Zikri has a bad race, if Yang has a bad race, Kelvin, if he doesn't do that, he may well have an opportunity to actually get himself up the leaderboard and put pressure on the guys going into race number 2.
Yeah, and that's the other thing drivers have to do. They have to focus on what they're doing. You know, they can't focus on what everyone else is doing, especially right now in bronze. You've got 6 drivers capable of winning. You just need to think, all right, I want to get pole position. All right, I want to win from the front, and I need to pull away and not make mistakes. And don't forget, we have success ballast. So Kelvin is 5th in the championship right now. His success ballast, I think, is 6 kilos. Whereas Zikri has, I think, 15 kilos. Yang Ming Chu has 12. You know, that will play into it as well.
As for Kelvin Powell, he's been racing for quite a while. Should he be getting beyond the bronze category? Should we be looking at him to be maybe competing properly in the silver and even possibly getting up to gold?
I think, you know, Kelvin's improved a lot, but I think he needs one more season in bronze. Drivers like Zikri and Yang Ming, I actually think they're ready for silver now. Let's see what happens to them. But Kelvin doesn't quite have the consistency pace-wise as some of the others in this field. There
is Mohammed Zikri, who in practice he's posting the fastest time, 100th quicker than his previous time. You're watching the ERGP. This is the second of 3 races we've got for you. Well, 4 races in theory, because gold and silver are combined. Gold, we've got neck and neck up at the top of the table. That's going to be exciting. Copper, we had neck and neck, and we still can't tell you who the champion is. This one, well, the race is, the competition is there for Zikri to lose. It's all about him making sure that he doesn't make the mistakes.
Yeah, but he's going to be under big pressure, you know, because, like I said, we talked about the success balance. 15 kilos does make a big difference with these cars. So he has to keep it clean. He has to be careful. Someone dives on the inside of him, he needs to be patient and go, right, I'm going to wait and give him space. I lose a position, doesn't matter. Just stay there, stay there. The worst thing to do is try and defend too much, get hit, and get spun around like he did in the last round in where were we? Portimao.
Yes.
Then his championship could disappear like that.
Wondering who was chuntering away to there. He's just sitting calmly in the pits, possibly now just waiting for qualification, which is just 40 seconds away. 6-minute qualification as usual. You want to, as usual, get a quick lap in first, give yourself a chance to maybe improve it second time round.
Yeah, that's the point. The tires last quite well with these cars, so I think you might see some of them do 2 or 3 laps on the set of tires before coming in to change tires again. Oof, Clint Olive there. He's quickest at the moment, though. Where's he come from?
Indeed, because Clint, it never really gets anywhere. He had a P6 in race number 2 of the season, but he's not often up at the top of the leaderboard, Clint Olive, so that'll be interesting. There could well be some wild cards coming in and causing a problem or two. And there's 22 drivers out on the track, Alex. That can complicate matters as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, in practice, it's getting a bit busy, as you can see all the cars going around. However, for qualifying, it'll be okay, because in the settings we have in the server for qualifying is you do your laps all by yourself. So there's no chance you can get blocked by anyone. And here we go. We're heading into qualifying. Who do you want to follow first?
I think we go with Zikri first, see what kind of opportunity, what kind of pace he is setting. There is Mohamed Zikri, the championship leader. You look back at his season so far, he had a race win in round number 1, but he had a disastrous round number 2 at Silverstone. Recovered a little bit to get a P2 in race 2 last week in Portimao, so he hasn't had the most consistent of 3 rounds so far, whereas Yang Ming Chu has been consistent, and that is that can play into you a little bit. In some ways, it's a little bit unfair, the fact you can drop around, because it means you can have a dreadful round, whereas the consistent guys get penalised just a little bit.
That is true. That is true. However, we like it getting exciting into the last round. We want to see which drivers can perform best. And look at that. Zikri's gone purple in Sector 1. Okay, he's the first car on track, so pretty sure there'll be other cars maybe eclipsing that. But so far, pretty clean lap by the young Malaysian.
20.98 is the kind of target that he's set so far. It's into Sector 2 right now. You've got the long sweeping straights in the first a couple of corners, and then you head into this more technical part of the course, and it's all about getting a good line. You say if you get it wrong at the start, Alex, it can really impact the rest of the lap.
Yeah. And this Hockenheim sort of track is you over push, you can lose a lot of time. Because it looks so wide and open, you think you've got a lot to play with, but you don't, because you just small wiggle here, a little bit slow on the throttle as he's fast through Sector 2, and you lose all the time down the long straight. And that is not what you want, so you have to keep it nice and neat on this kind of track.
Mohamed Zikri still fastest at the moment. We're on board with him, although Danish Aram looks like he's put in a quick lap as well, even though Zikri is fastest through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Let's see what kind of a time he puts. Well, he's got pole at the moment, Mohamed Zikri, a 135.6, just ahead of Danish Aram, 100th. But look at that, Chuck Long Lee has put in a fast lap, and Dave Smart has come from nowhere. You've mentioned this a couple of times, Alex, that there could be wild cards coming in. Zikri pushed down to P3, Yang Ming Chu pushed to P4, Danish Aram to P5, so they need a quick lap.
That's right, and Chuck Long Lee from Z Challenger Racing, the Hong Kong-based team, has not restarted the lap like we saw Zikri do. So he's on a second lap, and it's working for him. Look at it. Sector 1, he's actually gone quicker. So not restarting the lap, I think, has worked out quite well for him. Assuming, of course, the tyres hang on for the next 2 sectors. And he looks super good through turn 6.
And you know what? He's in P4 in the championship. So he's got 46 points. He's not a million miles away. And if he's got this, we haven't spoken about Long Lee, but he has got a chance. If he gets fastest qualification, good start in the race, 25 points, you never know.
Absolutely. Like you said, he's not that far away. Definitely capable, especially when the field is this close. Whoa! Purple in Sector 2 again. 2 tenths.
2 tenths quicker.
Wow, that's 3 and a bit tenths now up on his fastest lap. So his competitors are going to have to find something special to try and topple the Hong Kong-based driver.
2:42 clear at the moment. 2:30 still to go. Long Lee, the Z Challenger, leading the way. What time is he going to get here? 1:35.5 is the current fastest time. He's nearly 3 tenths quicker. 1:35.3. Dave Smart in P2, 1 tenth down. Zikri 3 tenths down. And look at that. Yang Ming Chu has dropped out of the top 5, as is Danish Aram.
Okay, we are on board with the guys second in the championship. And Yang Ming, he's gone green in Sector 1, but he's still a 10th off Long Lee. Nazir Asman goes up to P2 as we talk, but let's just stick on board with Yang Ming right now. Oh, he's lost a massive time. That sideways moment through the Mercedes arena cost him 4 tenths, so he's out of it.
That could be 0 points then in qualification. Long Lee is leading the way. Nazir Asman has got himself a P2. There is Naz. He's just posted a 1:35.4. Long Lee, though, has got pole position at the moment. Zikri is out of the top 5. Zikri out of the points at the moment.
Wow.
No, he's just posted a quick time to come back into the top 5. As we are on board with Nazir Asman.
Wow.
P2 at the moment.
But I tell you, Yang Ming with that terrible mid-middle sector, went to P4. I'm shocked about that. And he's decided to just chill.
Yeah, well.
Okay, well.
There's still a minute to go. So Longley, well, he's still fastest. A 1:35.3. Nazir Asman a 1:35.4. I'm wondering if anyone's going to be able to get the better from Chuck Longley. It will move him much, much closer. Raymond Aguilar.
Aguilar there. He's only 500ths off pole position time through Sector 1. He's coming to the end of Sector 2 now. Crosses the line. Whoa. He's up. It's very close. One more sector to go. This could be good enough for pole position.
That could have an impact on the overall championship standings. Because what I can tell you is that Chuck Longley at the moment moves within 7 points of Mohamed Zikri coming into it. Now we're still waiting. Yang Ming Chu picks up 2 points for P4 at the moment. Raymond Aguilar, Zikri out of the points in qualification, as is Danish Aram. Longley has the fastest time. Does he hold on to that fastest time? I think he did, you know.
He did. I think everyone's stopped right now. Those are the points. Nazir Asman in second. Dave Smart, good job there in P3. Yang Ming in P4. Aguilar in 5. Zikri, championship leader, out of the points in 6. Sharik Sukhainan came from nowhere there to P7. Good lap by the young Malaysian. Noris O from Japan in 8th. Aswan Anwar in 9. And Danish Aram, P10.
He's missed out as well, hasn't he? Danish P3 in the overall championship standings. Well, I tell you what, he isn't anymore. He's down to P4.
Yeah.
So 1 minute before we get ready, as we are on board with Nazir Asman. Nazir put in a very good position to come in P2. He's not really in the championship standings. It moves him up to 30 points. Mathematically, it's still possible, but it'd need everyone else to crash out.
Yeah, I mean, Asman actually has been super quick this Global Edition. Now, he's found some extra pace. He's got involved in a couple too many accidents, and that's why he's not fighting for the championship. But it's great to see Nazir up there.
He has had a P6 and a P4 last time out, so he's in a decent vein of form. But Zikri missing out on the points. Championship standings coming into race number 1. It is Zikri on 58, Yang Ming Chu on 52, 51 points for Longley. As we wait for the red lights to go out, and then we will be underway. We are on board with Nazir Asman, P2 in the on the grid as we start. And we are underway. Longley fastest. There's a bit of contact behind him. Longley in the blue. Is he able to hold on? Oh, there's contact coming into the first corner. Yang Ming Chu has come from way down in P3. Yang Ming Chu was the race leader. Longley's just edged in front of him. But Yang Ming Chu and Longley, what a good battle that is. Ming Chu retakes the lead, but they are side by side. Well done, Yang Ming Chu. He needs the victory if he's looking for the title. Where's Zikri? Zikri is... Where's Zikri?
No.
Down in P18.
No, championship leader down in P18. Disastrous first corners. Wow. Zikri again, not getting the rub of the green when he's in the middle of the pack.
Well, there is Zikri. He just needs to be patient. Danish Aram, slow down penalty, track limits abuse. But Yang Min Chu is the race leader, and if he holds on to this race lead, will be the new championship leader. Longley is currently in P2. This would elevate Longley very, very high in the standings as well, but there is a long way to go. 13.5 laps to go, but Yang Ming Chu got some real pace there as Aguilar tries to get in past Longley. So Longley has lost a bit of pace. He's maybe not on the pace that he was showing during qualification, Alex Young.
No, he's made a couple small mistakes that led Aguilar into P2, and now he's got Dave Smart all over the back of him right now. So Longley just needs to calm down and try and replicate the pace we saw him do in qualifying.
It's still not bad for him, though. This would elevate him into the top 2, but the worry for him is that Malaysia's Yang Ming Chu from the academy team, who's not had a race win this season. Yes, he did. He's had 2 second race wins, so that's why his usual expertise is. But he's not had a race 1 win, Yang Ming Chu, but it's looking pretty good for Yang at this stage.
Yeah. Nazir Asman has just had a moment. He was second in the grid, and he's dropped down now to P7. So he's also getting in the wars at the moment.
Longley P3, as we stick with Naz. Naz was second fastest in qualification. As you say, he's been quick throughout this season without really being able to put any points on the board as they come to this hairpin at the end of the longest straight. Sticking with Nazir, there's more contact. Nazir drops a place and Clint Olive goes up ahead of Naz, who's maybe not focused as he might be at the moment. He looks very cool, calm and calculating bottom right of your screen, but he's dropped down from P3 to P8.
Okay, so now Zikri there up to P14, so he's made some positions now. Zikri needs to try and get into the top 10, I feel, and he'll need to win the reverse grid race if he's going to have a chance of winning this championship, I feel.
It looks a little bit of tense there. The eyes are a little bit focused, looks a little bit pale, whether that's just a zoom camera or something, but that start will have certainly taken the blood out of his head as he's got another chance to move up here because Weiren went very, very wide. Or was it Yazid Razak, I think it was. Yazid had a problem. Zuhali's had a problem. Zikri's up to P13.
Okay, got to go back to the front though. Look at that. Long Lee's now got past Aguilar and is now closing down on Yang Ming.
Yeah, he had a couple of iffy laps, did Long Lee, but it looks like he's got himself back into the groove. Dave Smart's having a good day at the office. Dave has not really picked up that many points. He had a P5 in race number 1 of the season. Hasn't been in the top 6 since then, as we are on the back here of Yang Ming Chu. And Hockenheim is the venue. This isn't one of the overtaking places, but Longley is getting close onto the back and possibly maybe looking to make a move as they come into this hairpin.
Ooh, he's looking down the inside. Yang Ming's braking super late though.
Wow.
Good exit though by Yang Ming out of turn 1. Very smart actually. He braked really late. Oh, but what happened there? Had a misshift or something. Something went wrong there. I think he had a misshift and Long Lee is up through the lead.
Chuck Long Lee is now the man in charge of 25 points. Again, there's still a long way to go, but we're a third of the way through the race. And Yang Ming Chu, having come from nowhere to get into the lead, has now dropped down into P2. Smart and Zulkernan. Danish Aram's got himself up into P6. Where is Zikri? Still P13 for Mohamed Zikri, the championship leader. So he's in a bit of trouble, is Mohamed Zikri. Yang Ming Chu dropped down into P3 now. What's happened with Yang Ming Chu?
This right on board right now. He's just lost pace coming out of corners. Like he's got a gearbox issue or something, but that shouldn't be happening in the game. Let's listen to the upshifts. Does he have a puncher? Is the wheel bent? No, the wheel looks straight.
Again, he runs very, very wide. Dave Smart, the man ahead of him. He's very focused on the back end of Dave Smart and maybe will try to dive on the inside. Just got to make sure he doesn't get contact. Yes, you want to get past Smart, but you don't want to get into contact because Zulkernan and Danish are right behind you.
That's
Zikri
right.
still in P13. You're in P3. At the moment, you're in control of the championship.
Yeah, okay, so he's through now on Smart.
Or is he? Well, yeah, he's got the inside track. Smart's got to just give away a little bit, but then Smart takes the inside line. Yang Ming Chu and Smart both get a good drive coming out of the hairpin. Smart just seems to have that little bit of extra power. Is this the success ballast working against Yang Ming Chu?
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that bad. It's just looks like he's having poor acceleration.
Another mistake there.
Yeah. The mistakes, we saw this happen in the previous round in race 1. He was actually leading the race, started having mistakes, I think got a bit of damage, and this went right back in the field. Okay, so he's got to settle down. I don't know, maybe, I actually think it might be a throttle issue. Maybe his throttle's not getting 100% all of a sudden.
And he needs to be careful because Danish Aram, he's got himself up into P4. So Danish is in the yellow car immediately behind the silver of Yang Ming Chu. And Danish is driving particularly well at the moment. In the overall standings, well, Danish missed out. So Danish is 5th in the overall championship standings. But with Zikri struggling, if Danish can get ahead of Yang Ming Chu and Long Lee can keep his lead, then this title is going right the way down to the line again.
Wow, it is going to go down to the line. We just have to pull, okay, old Yang, no, I can't pull away from this. Yang Ming coming under some pressure from Danish right now. Just holding off a P3. I wonder if he's having issues with the rig. He needs to try and make sure that's settled. Let's just go back down to Zikri, see where Zikri is right now.
P12.
He's there, P12.
But he's got an opportunity of getting ahead of one or two others. He's got himself ahead of Weiren. So he's now up into P11. He's got Yazid Razak ahead of him, and well, there is Yazid Razak. Zikri has a look on the outside as they come into this right-hander. Then if he leaves the braking late, avoid the contact, Zikri. You can't afford to go out. In fact, he's lost the place that he just won, because Weirden has come back on the inside of Mohamed Zikri, and Zikri drops back down to P12.
Yeah, Yazid Razak did a great job there, defending just right. Has to defend again here. Oh, they're going to have contact between the two cars if they're not careful. Zikri trying to follow him through, not happening. Yeah, Zikri doesn't need this. Zikri just needs to make sure he finishes his race. Whatever happens, he can't have incident points and not finish his race. Zikri needs to get past these two guys. That puts him in 9th. That at least gives him a fighting chance for the reverse grid race.
But at the moment, he's in a little battle. The best he can really look at here is a top 10 position. 10th place is worth 6 points. So that is useful. But having not scored in the qualification, it's a problem. We're on board with Abdul Yazid Razak, who isn't giving way to the championship leaders, because he's got points of his own that he wants to win. He's not had a podium finish. He's not had a top 6 finish. So he's looking for that himself. Here's Danish Aram. Dropped down behind Zulkernan. So there's a good little battle. And Aguilar, who was in P2 at one stage, down in P6. But that's a 4-way scrap for P3 with Ming Chu leading the way at the moment.
Oh, Danish Aram got a slowdown penalty for track limits, so he'll have to lift. And he'll be watching his rear wing, because just behind him, Aguilar, you just talked about him, looking to try and get by. He's going to try and come down the inside for sure as they break for the hairpin.
Hockenheim, the venue. Long lead from Smart, from Ming Chu, from Zulkernan, from Danish, who holds off the challenge from Aguilar. Danish Aram in the yellow, in P5, yellow car number 8. Well, 5th position for him. What are they down though? Long Lee's got himself a nice lead up at the front. Dave Smart nearly 2 seconds down, and this little group of 4 cars a further second down on Dave Smart. Well done to Dave Smart, by the way.
Yeah, he's carrying some damage as well, though. As you come through these shots, you can see Long Lee in the blue car. Dave Smart there, just going through the picture, is crabbing a bit. And then this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position is just heating up at the moment. Danish Aram, he's getting very impatient. He needs to try and overtake Zulkernan. He needs to get in front of Yang Ming if he's got any chance of winning this championship.
Just mentioning off screen, Zikri's got himself up into P11, which is 5 points. 5 points for Zikri at the moment. That'd take him on to 63, but that would not be enough for him to hold on to the championship lead, because Long Lee was on 51. 25 points here, take him on to 66.
Ooh, Zulkernan again getting a good run on Yang Ming Chu. Just getting better exits. Yang Ming's just not consistent. For some reason down the straights, he loses pace sometimes. I think he's having a throttle issue on his rig. Because we watched him earlier on, the gear changes looked fine, but something's costing him time down the straights, and it's not just success ballast. As he defends into turn 6, ooh, Zulkernan trying to go around the outside. Ooh, doesn't quite make it, try on the switchback, but Yang Ming holds on for now.
Behind them, Aguilar's having a little pop as well at Danish Aram. So that's the battle for P4. Sharik Zulkernan roll over the back of Yang Ming Chu. Yang Ming Chu holds on, defends, holds on to that line. Again, Yang Ming Chu is in charge of this championship at the moment. So 16 points here would be very, very useful.
Yeah.
But inside the final 4 minutes, that's fizzed away. When the racing gets pretty intense, it gets pretty good, doesn't it? Where's Zikri? Zikri's got himself up into P10, which is 6 points. That would give him 64 points. Yang Ming Chu, 68 points. So Danish Aram has dropped down to P6, which is just 10 points. That'll move him on to 53. Long Lee leading the way would get 25 points, and that excludes the bonus points. Long Lee would move up to 76 points. 12 points clear of Mohamed Zikri if this race was to finish as it is at the moment.
Wow. And of course, we've got the reverse grid race coming back up after this. Top 15 will be reversed. Whew, anything can happen.
Long Lee, though, he's the man in control. Ming Chu would like to maybe just hold on to P3. I'm sure he'd love to get into P2, but at the moment holding on to P3 is what he's got to do, because Zulkarnain again is all over his back end. Zulkarnain wobbling around as they come into this hairpin once again. Zulkarnain down the inside. The switch back from Yang Mingqiu. Zulkarnain left his braking too late. That's cool from Yang. That's cool.
Very cool. Went to the outside. Zulkarnain couldn't make the move. Stick brake too late, and Yang Ming took him back. And he's actually got a bit of breathing space now. But it's not enough. Yang Ming's pace has just disappeared in this race. And what's it? 2 more laps to go?
2 more laps to go. Yeah.
Maybe 3?
2:32 left. What are we? Yeah, wouldn't be 3, would it? Because their lap times are 1:37.
Yeah, 2 more.
Yang Mingqiu, he'll be happy it's only 2 laps because he's under such pressure. Aguilar's got himself up into P5 ahead of Danish. So Danish will only pick up 10 points.
Who's got fastest lap of the race? That's the other big question. At the moment, it's Long Li.
So Long Li, this is looking really good for the Hong Kong racer. So 25 points plus the fastest lap. It'll give him 78 points. That'll give him a 10-point cushion over Yang Mingqiu going into the final race of the season. And we weren't even talking about Chuck Long Li before the race.
Wow, it's really happened for Yang Ming, though. That scrap just now, we just saw that. Zulkarnain now scrapping, and he's given a big gap to Yang Ming, because I think Yang Ming didn't have the pace. He would have probably finished 5th, even though there's 2 more laps to go. But he's now got the breathing space, and 3rd at least allows him to try and do something special in the reverse grid race.
Certainly does. Certainly does. Sharik Zulkarnain. We're on board with Sharik at the moment, yeah, so he's leading that race. Yeah, how did he suddenly pull that gap clear? So Aguilar is looking to get through on Zulkarnain, who's made a mistake or 2. And Danish Aram, who dropped down to P6, he's looking there as well.
Yeah.
So Sharik Zulkarnain. Well, that was remarkable what Yang Mingqiu was able to do very quickly.
I think he got very fortunate. These guys are scrapping behind him. We have to go back to Zikri as well. He's still trying to get past Yazid Razak. Not able to quite do it just yet.
Just 3/10 down on him though. 54 seconds left in the race, so they'll finish this lap, and then we will go on to the final lap. Mohammed Zikri currently in P10, 6 points. Can he get a fastest lap? Probably too late to do that. Can he get past Abdul Razak? That would be useful to move him a little bit closer. But at the moment, the championship leader will drop down to P3. And the title that was his to lose could well be being lost.
Back in the fight for 4th position right now. Aguilar
in
is
P4.
4th. Zulkarnain there in P5, all over the back of him. Really, these guys have really done Yang Ming a favor right now. But Yang Ming needs to fix whatever's going wrong with him right now, because he has no pace in this race if he wants to try and win the championship. At the front, though, this is going to be our new championship leader.
By a long way. By a long way, Chuck Long Li.
He's done the business today, you have to say. He took pole position. He was 4th in the championship coming into this final round. Took pole position. Winning race 1. Got fastest lap as well. And wow, showing a clean pair of heels to everyone else.
Really capitalizing. He didn't actually compete in round number 1 of the season at Sepang. He did okay. He got a P2 and a fastest lap at Silverstone. He got a P5 at Portimao. And here, it looked like he's going to be fastest in qualifying. He's been always fastest in qualifying. Now he's just got a victory lap home. He's had 2 fastest laps and a P2 in qualification. So he's genuinely quick, Chuck Long Li. And I suspect a promotion up into the Silver Championship for next season.
Yeah, I think so. This has been a super impressive drive by the Z Challenger Racing driver. Definitely deserves to be in Silver. Definitely will get promoted to Silver.
Chuck Long Li leads the way, a full 2.8 seconds clear. And this is our new championship leader, Dave Smart. A very good P2 for Dave Smart, and 20 points for him. Behind them, Yang Mingqiu is able to hold on to P3. Aguilar is the man who takes 4 ahead of Zulkarnain, or does he? The answer is yes. Aguilar ahead of Zulkarnain. Kelvin Pau, 6, and Danish Aram. That is a nightmare for Danish. He's not had a good day at the office. He's stuck on 52 points. So our championship leader by quite some way, Alex Young, is going to be Chuck Long Li, 78 points, 10 points clear of Yang Mingqiu.
Wow. Fantastic drive by the Hong Kong driver. Okay, so 10 points is quite handy. However, we've seen how competitive this field is. It's a big field as well. So he's going to start P15 in race 2. He is leading the championship, but he's got to stay out of the wars somehow. If he's got to survive and try and get up to maybe P5, P6 to try and make sure he takes his championship.
And Zikri, what's Zikri got to do? Zikri is 14 points adrift. So Zikri's got to win.
He's got to win and hope that Chuck Longley has a bad race. He's got to win. He's got to take fastest lap as well.
Yeah. So Mohammed Zikri, all our focus was on him before because we know what a good racer he is. But look at that, Chuck Longley is the man who's come in. Not the fastest lap though. That might be interesting. Aguilar took the fastest lap. So that might just take the gloss off things a little bit. So the lead isn't the 10 points we thought, it's 8 points. That makes a difference.
Wow. I wonder how costly that will be. He was only, less than a tenth. Well, less than 100 for fastest lap or so. So that's going to be hard for him.
Well, we had a fabulous finale to the Copper Edition Championship. Looks like we're going to have a close one here as well, where a rank outsider, somebody who didn't even race in round 1 of the championship at Sepang, is our new championship leader. And he goes by the name of Longley.
Okay. So, all right, we're going to go into race 2 now. Give us a minute or so, and then you see the drivers line up onto the grid. So, let's see. Longley, I think he needs to try and just make sure he's in the top 5, right? From 15.
Yes.
Which is possible.
Yeah.
Zikri has to win, has to take fastest lap to have any chance. Yang Ming, though, he's 8 points off the lead. I think he has to win as well.
Yes, anyone on the top, it's Longley's now to lose. But
Yeah.
we've seen that the pressure can do funny old things to you. As we've got 30 seconds to go. Top 15 reverse grid. I do love this reverse grid that you've introduced for ERGP. It does open up endless possibilities, and it can really scupper good races as well.
I know the drivers sometimes hate it, but here we go.
Chris Chu is the man on pole position. Chuck Longley, let's stick with Chuck Longley in P15 for the start of this race. The red lights are off. We are underway. We are on board with Chuck Longley. Stay out of trouble will be objective number 1. He's lost a place. He'll be okay with that, though. Dave Smart's gone ahead of him. All right, Chuck Longley, he's safely through corner number 1. Staying out of the traffic, 15 minutes. He knows he's got the pace to get the better of the others. Chris Chu and Adam Kondroloches are leading the way at the moment to highly in P3. Mohammed Zikri goes ahead of Jack McGregor. So McGregor and Zikri are in 4 and 5. Zikri, as you said, has got to effectively win this race. Yang Ming Chu has got himself up into P9.
Wow, Zikri there. Look, he's got a good slipstream. That's great. That's perfect for Zikri because we've seen him get into a lot of accidents lately when he starts in the middle of the pack. So to get through that, he has a moment though.
Has a moment.
Overcorrected. So Zikri still a bit shaky whenever he's in the mid pack. So he needs to try and find to make, but a good safe first lap.
Okay, let's go on board with Longley again just to see if he's staying out of trouble. The answer is yes. Now, we said stay out of trouble, but that doesn't mean come last.
Yeah.
Because that could cost you the title.
He's had a super conservative first lap. He's not even trying to mix it. I think he's just letting everything shake up ahead of him, and then he's going to try and pick him off. Could be a good strategy.
It could be disastrous.
Yeah. Could also cost him the championship.
Wow. Very interesting. Well, he's got himself up a place there, so he's up into P16.
He's got overtaken. He's P17 now. Oh, but look, this is what he's waiting for.
There's a lot of traffic there, and the possibility of contact. He was nearly caught there because surrounding him, he's just gone round the outside of 2 racers. Longley, Jack McGregor, I think it was, who was tagged. Nazir Asman's dropped, Weiren's dropped down as well. So Longley moves into P15. Back up to the front, can I tell you that Mohammed Zikri has got himself into P2.
Wow.
So you said he has to win. Well, we know he has to win. He knows he has to win.
He has to set fastest lap as well. Win and fastest lap to have any sort of chance. He's up to P2. Yang Ming is also up to P5. Yang Ming also needs to win those. So, but Zikri looking calm and collected after the disaster of race 1.
We're on board with Yang Ming Chu. That was Mohammed Zikri, bottom right of your screen. Yang Ming Chu from the academy. Under pressure from Jack McGregor and Kelvin Powell. We will keep an eye on Longley. Longley is still down in P16. Chris Chu leading the way. Yang Ming Chu looking to try to just get himself up into a top 4 position. these first couple of laps. Make sure that you stay out of problems, get yourself into a situation where you're able to attack the front. Yang Ming-Chu now moves up into P4. He's just taken Jaden Ung. So the Academy racer is ahead of the pack. Up at the front, Mohamed Zikri is about to make a move on Chris Chu, and the new race leader is Mohamed Zikri.
Nicely done. So, okay, he's got the first part of this race done, which is exactly what he needed to do. He's now up in the lead. Now he needs to get that fastest lap. So he has to settle down, keep the car nice and clean, and try and reel off some quicker laps to try and get fastest lap.
There is Mohamed Zikri leading the way as they go down into the right-hander. He looks like he's got good pace there as well, Mohamed Zikri. Currently holding P1, Chris Chu in P2, and look at that, they've got a 2-second lead over Kondrolochis. Yang Ming-Chu is pulling up into P3, which will make life interesting, because Long Li is still down in P15, you know. Long Li is still a long, long way away from getting into the positions that he needs. Remember, 15 points for the win, 12 for second, 10 for third, and then 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Only the top 10 score points.
He's been way too conservative, in my opinion. I'm shocked he's not, you know, he's been super conservative. Oh, okay, that's what he's waiting for. He's like, thank you very much.
Oh, and he's just been tagged.
Oh.
So he's lost places. Oh, and he couldn't make his way through the traffic. He, in the overall scheme of things there, he's made up a place, but still out of the points. And that clock is now starting to tick. 1/3 of this race has now gone, Alex Young.
Oh, he's so careful. Okay, he needs to be more aggressive. I mean, I understand being careful and letting it all unfold ahead of you, but he's not placing himself in a position to receive luck. He's placing himself in a position that people are going to dive bomb him. So he's inviting these dive bombing. Look, he's allowing someone to just drive around the outside of him. So Long Li just not putting it together right now in this reverse grid race.
Long Li just taken there by Clint Olive. He's got Olive ahead of him. He's got Jaden Ung as well, who's dropped down the rankings quite a bit. And look at that, Viren goes on the inside, and Chiat Long Li, having been so impressive in qualification and taking the win in race number 1, suddenly finds himself in traffic. Maybe he just needs that open road, and he's focused on the mirrors all around him and worried too much about what's going on around him for him to put in quick laps.
Okay, so Zikri does not done the fastest lap. He's just got invalid laps. So he's doing invalid laps right now. He needs to settle down and get a lap down. He is winning the race at the moment. How does it work out in the championships if Yang Ming-Chu finishes third?
So if Yang Ming-Chu finishes first, let's just work this. That would be 10 points.
Yeah.
Yang Ming-Chu would move on to 78 points. Mohamed Zikri, so you're assuming a Zikri victory, Mohamed Zikri would be on 79 points. So it then comes down to fastest lap.
Because Yang Ming's not showing the pace for me. He's struggling again like he was in race 1. The pace is not good enough. And he's not, I mean, okay, Chris Chu in second position is definitely catchable. But look at that, Yang Ming does not look comfortable at all. This is not the Yang Ming we know. So I have some doubts whether he can get into the top 2 at the moment.
Long Li is up to P13. Long Li needs to get up into the top 6 by my reckoning if Zikri takes the win. As Kelvin Pao moves a little bit closer as well. Kelvin Pao could be a spoiler. He can't win the championship, but he'll be looking for a top 5 finish in the season, the Academy racer. But Zikri leads. Chris Chu is second. Third is Yang Ming-Chu. Fourth is Kelvin Pao.
So Dave Smart needs 5 points. Sorry, not Dave Smart. Long Li
needs 5 points, yes.
So 5 points is...
5 points is 6th place.
Wow, he's far away from 6th place. Very far away from 6th place, isn't he? There is Long Li right now. P13 still.
No, he needs 4 points. 4 points, Long Li. At the moment, depending on fastest lap. But 4 points, he's not going to get 4 points for P13. And that clock, Alex Young, we're approaching halfway.
Yeah.
We're approaching halfway in this race. And he's 13. He's got Danish Aram ahead of him. But he's more than a second down on Dave Smart, who's in P8.
The car looks okay. The car looks fine. So there's nothing wrong with the car. But he's just not producing. He's just... we know the lap times there. We know how quick he is. He actually has fastest lap of the race. 36.9. No, he doesn't. That belongs to Adam Kondrolochis at the moment. No, he doesn't actually. Sorry, sorry. Let me He does have fastest lap race. 36.9. He has got fastest lap.
Who has?
Long Li.
Long Li. Okay, that might be enough. That puts him level on points with Yang Mingqiu.
But then he goes and makes another mistake. He's lost 2 positions again.
He needs points. He needs points, does Long Li.
He does not look comfortable racing with others in the mid-pack at all.
Well, what an opportunity for Mohamed Zikri. At the moment, Zikri is leading the championship and leading the race.
Okay, but he does not have a fast... Oh, my gosh. He just does a fastest lap.
A 1:36.3. So that gives him a little bit of leeway. Dave Smart did have the previous fastest lap. Let's add that into the reckoning for Mohamed Zikri. And that would move him on to 17 points for the race win, 81 points. That will be a 3-point advantage, and that just puts real pressure on Chuck Long Li, who is... Where is Long Li? 14th still. Can't get it. This is going to be Zikri pulling this one out of the fire.
But we can't discount Yang Ming. He's closing the gap to Chris Chu. If he gets second, how does that work out for him?
Not brilliantly for him. It'd move him on to 12 points, which would still be a point adrift of Zikri. Because Zikri's got the fastest lap. Yang Mingqiu moves up into P2. Chris Chu moves obligingly if you're Yang Mingqiu, unobligingly if you're Mohamed Zikri out the way, and then accelerates into the corner and tries to battle for this, but Yang Mingqiu is in P2. So this could go down to the fastest lap in this final race of the season.
Okay, so the guys first and second in this race are first and second in the championship. Whoever does fastest lap in this race will win this championship.
And at the moment, that is Mohamed Zikri, a 1:36.3.
Wow, this is the man that is currently leading the championship. He has got fastest lap, 36.3. He's coming through the last corner now. Let's see if he can improve on that.
And it's a healthy lead. He's got a huge lead, 7 seconds. So
36.0.
36.0, gosh.
That is a good last lap. Wow, that's going to take some beating. Let's see what Yang Ming can do as he goes across the start-finish line. 38.1. Okay, he was overtaking someone. But right now, Yang Ming's fastest lap is a whole second off Zikri's.
But look at the differential between P1 and P2. We're on board with Yang Mingqiu. He's 7 seconds down. So this race win is going to belong to Mohamed Zikri. How about Long Li? Where is Long Li? He's got ahead of Adam Kondrolochis.
P12 though.
Gosh, dear.
Gosh, it's like I'm watching a different driver. He looks so assured. Okay, we saw him in race 1, how careful he was in the first couple laps. We saw that again. But he then had some good overtakes, great pace, won race 1. But he hasn't been able to show that form to overtake here in race 2.
He does know the scoring system, doesn't he? He doesn't think 12th is 3 points or 4 points and good enough.
I hope he does. Because that would be such a shame to lose the championship that way just by not knowing the
miscalculating.
regs. Yeah.
Well, he's trying at the moment to get the better of Weiren. Oh, to be fair, Weiren's had a really, really good race. I've enjoyed his work. And he's not backing off Weiren, but Chuck Long Li might have to take some real risks. He's gone wide there. Off the camber.
Okay. Well, at the moment, I haven't actually seen him do any overtakes. All his moves up the grid, up the field, have been from people going off. Someone else has just gone off.
Somebody else has gone off in spectacular fashion there, so that might move him up to P11. Actually,
10.
make that P10. Ooh. So now he's in the points.
Wow.
Now what lap times is he doing?
He's not quick enough. 36.9. He's 9/10 off fastest lap.
But he's only 4 points off the lead. So Zikri will win the race and get fastest lap, it looks like.
There's Zikri. Here's Yang Mingqiu in second.
Yang Mingqiu second place. As the championship standings are, Zikri, the race leader, has 81 points. Yang Mingqiu has 80 points in P2. 77 points for Chuck Long Li, who is down in P10. But he's got Weiren ahead of him. Is he able in this last 3 minutes or so just to pull up? What does he need? He needs 5 points. He needs to pull up 4 places. That's not going to happen for Long Li.
Oh, there he goes down, passes someone, but then he
loses it again.
That's what I'm saying. He's very clumsy with the overtaking. Okay, so Long Li has to work on his racecraft, I think, after this season is over, because he's got the pace. He's got fantastic pace. Just a little bit clumsy with the overtaking so far.
Well, let's forget about him just for now, because this is our potential champion. He was the potential champion at the start of the day. He wasn't the potential champion at the end of race 1. Now he's the potential champion by a single point. Unless he runs out of petrol or does something silly in this last... what's he got? We've got 2:02 to go. These last 2 laps.
2 more laps to go. Will Zikri take the championship? So much can happen in ERGP, though. We could see 4 cars suddenly take each other out and allow Longley the points to suddenly win the championship. But how it's ebbed and flowed today. Zikri was down and out of it in race 1 when he went right to the back of the grid on lap 1. Managed to recover to P10. We didn't think that was enough, but he's done the business in race 2. Race 1 and fastest lap. His fellow championship rival, Yang Ming Chu, there he is in P2, but 2 points off.
Kelvin Powell's got himself up into respectable P3. Kelvin Powell always does well. Dave Smart's had a good day at the office as well. Danish Aram, again, not quite able just to put in the performances that he needs. Longley needs to get up into P6, which isn't going to happen. A P7 is a possibility, so Danish Aram's just received a slow down penalty. Kelvin Powell in P3.
Wow, and he's closing on Yang Ming again, having that straight line issue. Got no speed on the straight. Oh, wow, that was interesting. He just had no speed on the straight. And Kelvin Powell's now all over him.
Well, Kelvin picked up 10 points in race 1. It'll move on to 63 points, which is probably good enough for 4th in the overall championship standings for Kelvin. Zikri still leading the way. 34 seconds of the race to go. Dave Smart closing in as well on... This is the battle for P3, isn't it? Yeah, that's Dave Smart there. Sorry, for P2. So Ming Chu, he's lost 3 seconds to Zikri. So he's just clinging on for P2, clinging on for dear life.
I just have to go between this battle for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Because if these drivers take each other out somehow, we got Longley there, the blue car, in P10. So Longley, his one more lap to go. He needs these cars to have some sort of accident to give him the points to clinch his championship.
And of course, we couldn't condone such things, but we're here for the entertainment. Back into P2, Ming Chu. Desperately holding off Kelvin Powell. Kelvin Powell, though, this could well really decide the championship if Kelvin moves on the inside, and it looks like he's got the pace to get past Ming Chu. Ming Chu has to try to defend, but Kelvin Powell has got the inside line. Who can leave the braking latest? Oh, Ming Chu is just bodged off, and Dave Smart comes through as well. Oh, Ming Chu just held up, but Dave Smart now pinches P2. Ming Chu's title chances have just evaporated.
Yeah, it's got nowhere there. He's got a hardware issue for sure, because he's slowed down the straights. That's it. Oh, Kelvin Powell spins.
So Kelvin Powell is out. Dave Smart looking for a P2. Smart work, Smart.
We have to go to this guy. Wow, what can we say about him?
Nothing but good things.
He's going to win race 2, and he's going to be our championship winner here in bronze class as he crosses the line. Mohammed Zikri, look at that, the win and the fastest lap.
Puff of the cheek saying, whoa, okay, is that enough? His arithmetic will be saying, where is Yang Ming Chu? And the answer is Yang Ming Chu has got back to P2 because Dave Smart has done something silly. Dave Smart has crashed out. A real battle at the back. Longley has got himself up into P9. That battle for P6 did see drivers take each other out, but Longley finishes in P9, which is 2 points, which means that he is level on points with Yang Ming Chu at the end of the season. 3 points down on Mohammed Zikri. Our new champion, unofficially, because there could be protests, although I doubt it, but our new champion of the Copper Edition is Mohammed Zikri from Malaysia.
Zikri, can you hear us?
What?
Yes, we think you're our champion right now.
Wait, what?
You have fastest lap and the race win from race 2. You are 2 points ahead of Yang Ming Chu, and Longley only finished 9th, and he's tied on points with Yang Ming.
No. I'm quite shocked. I was expecting bad news, but I'm not being excited now because I don't know if there's protests or anything coming right up, but yeah.
Very sensible to wait for the protest. But yeah, we think the mathematics are on your side, Zikri. And having not performed in race number 1, what was your attitude going into race number 2?
I thought I lost it. I basically thought I lost it. So I said, you know what, just finish off with the bang, because I don't think it was my time to be champion. So I just, you know what, race 2, just go for the win. Just make a statement, say you had the pace and everything. I had the pace and everything. But yeah, but okay, I didn't know I was still able to win the championship. I thought I lost it already.
Well, by our unofficial reckoning, 81 points, 3 points clear of Chuck Longley, who picked up 2 points, 3 points clear of Yang Ming Chu, who picked up 10 points for P3. Unofficially.
Well, no, Yang Ming Chu finished second.
Yang Ming Chu finished second, still, so it's only a 1 point win then. You've won the title by a single point.
Oh my God.
The fastest lap, mate. So congratulations. Yeah, so I think you drive better when you don't think about the championship, eh? Because that was a much better drive compared to race 1.
Again, it needs confirmation. We've got this wrong in the past, or I've got this wrong in the past, so we will check our maths. But my understanding is that you did just enough in race number 2 by leading from the front. Longley was really conservative. He was P14, P15, P16 for a long time. Only picked up 2 points for P9.
Wow.
I'll check the Instagram post at the end. Then.
Okay.
Make sure.
Congratulations, man. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Well, what a way to end the season, Alex Young. A single point in it.
Wow.
Subject to confirmation. It was massively tight in copper. It's massively tight in the bronze edition. But Mohammed Zikri looks like he's got it. I'm loving his reactions. I'm loving those reactions.
They're going to be great stickers. We're going to use these as stickers later on.
Yeah, that's what you want. When people say it's not real racing, you look at the reactions of these drivers, Alex, and it is. The heart is beating. Yeah. It really matters to these fellas.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Oof. How exciting. Okay, copper and bronze did not disappoint at all. We got silver and gold coming after this. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Things to be aware of organizing e-racing championship without race room. First, no automated leaderboard would always be labor intensive. Elimination round would be the only way to filter the winners. Having the participants adhering to the schedule would be a huge test. We need to know the task will get bigger when participants increases. Time consuming. Organizing e-racing championship without race room, it's all need run manually to take down the participants and eliminate them from first round group to final round group. Because it is manual human labor, there bound to be human error. Manual human labor would have a price tag for the man-hours involved. New participants would never have chance. The e-racing clubs in the world will send their best racers to participate the race. But that means your championship exposure is just limited to the e-racing clubs. Why choose race room? Our 3E official championship have fully automated leaderboard. Participants can log in anytime to leave the fastest lap time within the qualifying period. Each of the racers already have their ranks with race room. Next, save time. You can have unlimited amounts of participants in a super short time to qualifying them to final race. Race room can cover unlimited amount of participants. We have a full automated esports ecosystem from qualifying leaderboard to broadcast AI. Besides, race room's free contents lets everyone can participate to the race.
A very good Saturday afternoon to you wherever you are in Asia or around the world. Delighted to welcome you to ERGP, the finale to season number 8. It's round 4. We're going around Hockenheim. Alex Young has decided to mix gold and silver categories for this season. It's rather worked because we've had so much narrative to talk about and plenty of narrative today as well. But the most important one is in gold. We've got a tie for first place at the moment.
Absolutely. Inigo Anton for Philippines tied with triple global edition champion Muhammad Ali from Singapore. So that's going to be so exciting to watch. And you're right, because we're doing single-seaters for this season, we decided to put gold, which drive these 90s styles Formula 1 car, with silver, who are driving the GP2 cars. So it's quite a nice mix as we watch them go around.
Okay, let's just have a little look at the best of the highlights from round 3 that set up the scenario that we've got going into round 4.
Alistair Young with a great start. He did not have a good qualifying there, but somehow he's up to P2. Wow, because he qualified like 10th, I think. I don't think he put a lap down in qualifying, so to be up to P2 is a good job.
Well, Nico Sage likewise not giving an inch to his best friend as well, because both of these guys also kart in real life and they race each other a lot in sim racing. So I think friendship will be put aside for this one if the battle for the win is up for grabs. And Nico Sage, though, defending with all his might to prevent the Alan Drake Cruz from overtaking after a slight mistake there from Nico in the previous lap. And look at that, the amount of slipstream that Cruz got to the back of him. He might try one on the outside, but it looks as though nothing to it there. He might have to just get himself back up because he knows full well opportunity has just presented itself. It looks as though Alif may just be unprecedentedly away from the rest of the field in front, as he is doing now in race 2. So coming up through turn 15, across the crest and to the start-finish line here, Checker Fly will be waving, and Alif takes a win for the first time this season in the Gold Championship. And we are gonna get underway now. There we go. At the front of the grid, Michael Farrens. Beside him is Son Idu. But it looks as though both front runners have actually not had a good start, because Alif has punched his way through to the front of the field and takes it through turn 1. Alistair then also nearly going through there, coming out to 3rd place. But it's Alif from 5th place on the grid in gold class has taken the lead, as Alistair gets a big whack from Son Idu. We're seeing Paul Faustino right now, and Michael Farrens went off the track in turn 3. But it looks as though, apart from a few argy-bargy moments, oh no, spoken too soon again. Farrens has actually spun into the crowd and amazingly didn't get collected by anybody.
Okay, let's look at the on-screen action right now. Alistair Young there in 2nd position has Son Idu all over the back of him, as this is the battle for 2nd position in gold class.
Oh, Edu runs a bit wide there. Nearly came into the back of him, and Alistair was fully aware. You can see that his eyes are constantly shifting, looking left, right, and center. Where in the world is that guy in 3rd place? Nearly went to the back of him. So luckily for Edu, he had enough space coming into turn 5 to just avoid that. P2 and P3 overall and in class. This is between Son Idu and Paul Faustino. So Philippines versus Australia, and it looks as though the Australian has the bit between his teeth here. He is up to the back of the Filipino's car. Michael Farrens goes wide. Oh, he actually blocks Edu. That is it. That might just be the end of the battle for P2 there, but Alif will come across the line here and take a double at Portimao. An absolutely superlative performance from the Singaporean. Now we have to go back to that battle for P2. Will it be a conclusion that will be in favor of Son Idu or Paul Faustino? It looks as though Paul Faustino might actually get, he has actually sealed the deal. So 2nd place for Paul Faustino and 3rd for Son Idu. So that's your podium in gold.
So here's how the standings are for the silver edition. Nico Sage, based out of Malaysia, is having a terrific performance so far. 84 points, but there's 49 points available. So Alan Drake Cruz and Aldo Ray Balagulam have still got mathematical opportunities, as does Roy Xu. But we're expecting for Nico Sage to take this. Chuck Long Lee, who had a real dig at things in the copper edition that we've just seen, he's also there with an outside opportunity. In the gold, look at that. Alif and Inigo Anton both had 0 points from a one dropped round, but 91 points apiece. So what could be the spoiler in this? It could well be a lad called Cody Latkovsky. We'll tell you more about him in just a moment. The likes of Axel Mariano and Alistair and Paul Faustino, they could be spoilers in this particular series as well. in the Teams Cup. Stratos Motorsports leading the way. They've had a really good season, and the Academy. Familiar names here, but it was so important for all of these teams to keep on supporting ERGP. Our thanks for your support. We'll keep on putting the opportunities for you to race, but Stratos Motorsports running away with the Teams Cup. And in the Nations Cup, I think it's Malaysia looking pretty strong in the overall standings. 563 points coming into round 4 of Global Edition Season 8. Singapore 397, Philippines 330, Hong Kong. But also great to see the European teams there as well. Germany 39 points and Great Britain 11. And talking of Europeans, Alex, we're delighted that we've got a young lad called Latkovsky racing for us. And he's meant to be quite good, this young fella.
Yeah, so Cody Latkovsky, he is the actual FIA World Champion. We for the Digital Cup, for the esports drivers, the FIA, the governing body of motorsports, held a World Championship just before COVID. And Latkovsky, he won it for Australia. He's now driving under the Macedonia flag. You can see him there. So great to have him. He was actually supposed to join us last round as well, but got a bit of a mix-up with live timings. Sorry, not live timings. With what time it is here, because he's driving in Macedonia. But he's with us here today, and he'll be really interesting to watch. Second at the moment, Inigo Anton's quickest. But I think it's going to be a great battle between him, Anton, and of course Muhammad Ali.
Okay, let's very quickly look at the circuit we're going around. We're looking at Hockenheim. There's about a minute 45 for the racers to compete. The Hockenheim circuit. I love the long parabolic curve, but the Mercedes technical part and the last couple of corners is very important in this circuit.
Absolutely. Let's now go on board with a hot lap with Ayman Hakim, who drove around here in a DTM last year.
As you can see here, it's a hot lap mode. Time attack mode there. Starting on the third sector, last 2 corners here, you want to bring as much speed as possible down into the start finish straight here. You want to place your car far right to the left here to get into the first turn here. Get it right, get all the speed. Get it wrong, you will lose all the speed here. As we can see here, get it a little bit of wrong there, losing a little bit of time. Into the second corner here, you want to spot your braking a little bit early here. Clip the apex and get a little bit sliding here. That's not what you want. You want to get a good exit here, because this is where the make or break of your race here. It's a long left parabolica. This is where you want to plan your overtake, plan your move, plan your dinner, plan where you want to go after the race. But do not forget, there's a braking zone into this hairpin here. You don't want to miss it and go back to the forest behind there. It's not ideal. It's not ideal where you want to go. As we exit the hairpin there, nice and smooth on the throttle here. Into the right hand king here, into the Mercedes arena here, Mercedes curve. We're driving a Mercedes. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of crouch here into the weekend here. As you can see here, second gear, third gear, a little bit of lift off to the right hand corner here. You want to eliminate the understeer. As we can see here, fourth gear, fifth gear, down into the closing to the stadium section here. You want to clip inside as much as possible here. Fourth gear, third gear, down to second here. This is where Sebastian Vettel lost his lead in the 2018 German Grand Prix here. We don't want to do that as well. As we can see here, down into the double last 2 corners here. There's a drag strip around this left hand side there if you want to know. And yeah, here we go. That's the lap of me in Hockenheimring.
Perfect timing. We come back into the qualification and we're going to get on board with Inigo Anton. Now, Anton missed last week's race. I think he was doing some real life racing in the last round. Championship leader, 91 points. Alif, though, is a man in form. Alif is a cool dude. Has Anton got it in him to actually take his first series victory?
He's never won an ERGP championship. I don't think he's... Yeah, so he's never won a sim championship of this sort of pedigree. So this is very big for him. He wants to win it, especially when he's going up against Alif, who's won 3 titles. He's purple through Sector 1 at the moment. He loves the Benetton colors of this car. So let's see how he goes. He's going to be exciting to watch. Got so much on the line. We saw him quickest in practice as well. Obviously, you mentioned the last round. Ooh, looks good at the hairpin. Does he get a good exit? That looks about good. He missed the last round because he had real-life racing, and of course he used that as the drop round that we allow in the regulations. So he's still leading this championship. You asked the question, Des. I don't know the answer. Whoa! Inigo sliding it through that corner.
He seems to love these old F1 cars, though, doesn't he? He seems to really enjoy throwing it around the circuit.
Yeah, you do have to throw these cars around a bit because, you know, narrow front tires, quite a bit of understeer mid-corner. And then you got to look after the rears because they're like rocket ship coming out and you get loads of oversteer as you come out of the corners.
Well,
Okay.
he's what's he going to be posting? Looking inside the 120s for fast lap as he comes through into the final corner. Oh, he's run just a little bit wide there.
Oh, he got that. Was that good enough?
A 122.1. It's temporarily fast enough, and then Latkovsky immediately posts the fastest time. You mentioned Latkovsky. This guy is a potential spoiler for both him and the other man we've really got to keep an eye on, Mohammed Alif Hamilton. Oh,
Yeah.
that's on board Zikri. Where is Alif?
There is Alif, actually. Let's follow him. Let's
Yes.
watch him as he finishes his lap.
So he was 500ths up in through Sector 1, or 800ths up in Sector 2. So he's still fastest.
It's going to be close.
What's not to love about those cars?
It's going to be super close, Des. I think this might be good enough for pole position. Alif attacking like the way we know he attacks. Wow, goes through the last corner, looks super good, uses all the road and a little bit. Oh, that's just right, not too much. Goes across the line.
Oh no, he's 100th out of Latkovsky. Inigo Anton holds on to P2. Alif only in inverted commas P3. So it's kind of advantage Inigo Anton. But there's still 3 minutes to go. There's still an opportunity for others to post a lap. But these three, Alex Young, they are so much quicker than everybody else. A second and a half quicker than everybody else.
Okay, Inigo's on a good lap. He's gone faster. We saw that first lap. He was sliding around a bit scrappy. This looks a lot cleaner by the Filipino driver. Latkovsky's also on a better lap as well. So let's see what happens. As we'll watch Inigo finish this lap, and then we'll go straight to Latkovsky.
Well, this is proper racing, this. Inigo Anton was 0.025 down, 122.3. He's fastest. He's fastest, a 122.0. At the moment, he's fastest. Now then, Latkovsky. What can Latkovsky do? Latkovsky is only P2. Inigo Anton has taken P1, but there's still time for another lap. There is still time for Alif to come even quicker than Inigo Anton.
Okay, we'll go back to Latkovsky because he's just starting a lap, and we'll go to Alif right now.
Alif is 600 down. Oh, Alif, what's going on there?
He didn't make it. He's restarting his lap. He's going to try and go a little bit quicker. He'll have just enough time to do one more time. So all three of them on one more lap.
Brilliant.
So let's see. There's Inigo Anton. There's Latkovsky. So Inigo Anton just a little bit further up the road. Ooh, look at that, Des. He's purple in Sector 1.
In the silver edition, we just need to tell you, Alan Drake Cruz is probably fastest there from Nico Sage.
That's right. Let's go back to the Alan Drake Cruz there, leading, driving from Norway. And Nico Sage goes across the line. He's got one more lap to go as well, but we have to ride on board with Inigo Anton.
Anton's fastest again.
Is he good? Sector 2's coming up. Oh, he gets that small slide. I'm not sure if that cost him any time.
We'll have a look. Sector 2 split time is coming up pretty imminently.
No, he lost a bit of time. That small slide just cost him time. Let's see if we can find some time in Sector 3.
But we are looking at hundreds of seconds here. Not tenths of second, hundreds of seconds to separate. Inigo looking very, very focused. Inigo Anton currently in pole position. Latkovsky in P2, Alif in P3 at the moment. What can Anton do? Can Anton improve his time? Yes, he can! A 121.8.
Okay, Latkovsky's out of it. You can see that he's sat up. He made a mistake in his last lap.
How about Alif?
Let's look at Alif, though. He's the last driver that could potentially improve.
And he's down. He's 2/10 down. Inigo Anton is going to take the slightest of advantages into the race one itself.
Wow, Alif P3. He'll be really disappointed with that. I know he's been practicing hard on ACC this week, though, so he's not had a chance to put in the time he normally does. But yeah, there he is in P3. Let's just see Alan Drake Cruz there. He holds on to his first pole position in silver class as well.
Nico Sage in P2. Alistair Young getting a P5 in gold and silver. Remember, we mix the two races together, the two classes together. So silver, they pick up 5 points for 5 points for Alan Drake Cruz, 4 points for Nico Sage. Alan Drake Cruz needs Nico to have a bad day at the office for him to do a pretty good day at the office. Chuck Longley, 3 points. It's been a good day for Chuck Longley, although he'd like to maybe just get a podium place in the silver category.
Yeah, I think podium would be good for him. You know, we know he's these cars are a lot trickier to drive. Qualifying is over. There is Inigo outposted for Gold Class. He's tied in the championship lead with Muhammad Alif, who starts P3. He looks so calm and collected there. He's wearing that Racing GP shirt. We send these shirts obviously to all our race winners. Of course, we have to thank our sponsors, Race Room, of course, for the great things they've been doing. X Park, Motorsport Playground, of course, Life will make the great shirts.
They don't make one my size, clearly.
No. extra large?
4XL. Okay, 42 seconds to go. What a race that we've got on here. Inigo Anton was in the bottom of our screen there. You can see him just pulling on his gloves, getting very, very focused. The Philippines will be very excited for Inigo Anton. We also need to be excited for Axel Mariano Nocom. In this kind of company, he is mixing it with the best. Amo Hazik joins us for the commentary. Amo, quick thoughts about Axel Mariano Nocom. We're talking about the big three, but what a performance for him to come P4.
Yeah, he's actually really close on occasions to actually get his first win of the season in Gold Class. So if the front three were to hit each other, he might have an opportunity.
You're quite right. He's had a P2. Right then, red lights go off. And when we get underway, we will be on board with Inigo Anton. Anton fastest, green on the right, and he's got off to a really good start, Inigo Anton, and he's taken Lakovsky with him. And I tell you what, dropping right, Muhammad Alif Hamilton has also gone with him as well. So the 1, 2, 3 have got away nice and safely. Would you prefer to be leading in this situation, Amo, or would you prefer to be Hamilton on the tail?
I'd rather be leading, to be honest, because these cars, despite them having a huge amount of power and you can actually power on the straights, it's actually not as easy to follow and overtake, so I'd rather be the one in front and hold the gap.
Okay, so there is Inigo Anton. You've just got to make sure you don't make mistakes. And Hamilton having to slam on the brakes there. Lakovsky, let's just while the race is beginning to warm up, let's go on board with Lakovsky. And this guy is an FIA champion.
Yes, he is. He's a FIA Motorsports Games champion. He got gold when they were in Italy 3 years ago, would you believe it, in 2019. So he knows his way around sim racing, but I've never seen him do race room until recently. So I'm quite surprised he actually took it up. But he's proven that he can actually be first time. And he said, "Miss, Anton goes off." Anton's actually gone to the gravel trap, and that has given Alif the lead.
Anton also goes wide. He's got to hold on to P2. Lakovsky comes on the outside. So Alif Hamilton takes advantage of a mistake that we've just seen there from Inigo Anton. I suppose if you're leading, you said you'd rather lead, but you must focus on what's ahead of you, not on what's going on behind you.
Yeah, exactly, Des. I think he might have taken his eye off the ball for a second and just thought, okay, maybe I could just gap him, but suddenly he just goes off wide and he paid the price for it. Now, that 2-point swing that he had from qualifying it's become a 5-point deficit now.
Certainly has. It's 25 points and 20 for P1 and P2. And Alif Hamilton, once he gets his nose in front, Amo, it's tough to haul him back in.
Yeah, certainly. He's kind of like Hamilton when he was in a winning car, of course, really out in front and just running away with it. And behind Anton is Lakovsky, who had quite a poor-ish start, to be honest, because he was in second. He just let Ali through. Probably he wasn't used to actually starting these cars off the line. Now he's going to have to overtake Anton to get up to the lead of the race.
So Lakovsky is in P3 at the moment. Inigo Anton in the old Benetton colours. But look at that. Axel Mariano Nocam is still in contention with these front three. These three in front of him are world class. And you've got a kid in the blue car who is really, really competing at this same level. This is going to be some racer.
Absolutely. And he's still got years ahead of him. In fact, decades of experience left in front of him to actually get. So really then, he is having good foundations now to become a world-class driver.
Another young racer who we really need to look at in the second level, the silver category, Nico Sage. He was second fastest in in qualification. He's leading the championship by quite a margin. If he gets a victory here, the title is his.
For sure. I mean, he's already had one hand on the trophy last time I imported him out anyway. And I thought for a second that he was not going to compete because I did speak to his father, Jean-Luc. They said that they were possibly not going to compete because they have conflicting go-kart arrangements. But glad to see Nico's here, and still, he is the class of this field.
If you've got a title on the line, I'm sure you'd turn up. Because Alan Drake Cruz, he's dropped down to P15. He's the only real chance. So this silver seems to have been done and dusted very early on, which is good in some ways, it's bad in some ways, but it's good for us because it means we can focus on this battle for the championship with the wild card of Lakowski in there to try to be a spoiler.
Indeed, and he could actually potentially be a spoiler, but at the moment, a second behind Anton and Alif. Lakowski is not making any inroads just about yet, but for sure, maybe towards the end of the race, when he has the tires up to temperature and the fuel load is dropping, he could actually get it to the back of them, but for now, he's just hanging back.
Alif Hamilton, as Anton leaves the braking very late there, has to slam on the brakes, and Anton is able to get a good drive out, and he still leads the way, but it's only by half a second from Inigo Anton. They are on lap 3, just about to come in to finish lap number 4. Lap times are 1:25.4 is the fastest lap so far. 1:24.8 from Inigo Anton, the new fastest lap. That's interesting. That comes into play.
That's 2 extra points. So if things stand where they are, they will still be having the same amount of points coming into the last round of the season. Would you believe it?
No, it'll be 1 point.
1 point.
2 points, yeah, 1 point's difference. Alif would be on top.
Oh, yeah, because it's the 2 points from the qualifying because 5-3. Okay, so 1 point difference coming into the final round of the season.
Thank heavens for Excel.
Oh, yes. The saber of bacons.
But Alif is leading Anton. So Anton made that mistake, but he's recovered pretty well so far.
Yeah.
Alif, though, I love the lazy-eyed look on Alif Hamilton. It's all focus, it's all concentration, and there's no flickering behind, is there?
Yep, so really then, to me, Ali looks really a bit indifferent right now, probably because he's got other commitments in mind, but still, winning this championship will be proof that he could be back in power, to say the least.
Yeah, he won the first 3 editions of ERGP. Then he had to let real life intervene as he had some national service to do, but he's back close to his best. Could use a shave, to be fair.
Yeah, he looks like he has a big 5 o'clock shadow, just like this correspondent.
Okay, so 1 and 2 are pulling away. Latkovsky, Amo, isn't able to make the impact we thought he would.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because he didn't have a big moment like going off anywhere, or like what you did with Anton. He literally just went onto the gravel trap and sold his tires, but it looks as though the physics got transferred from Lakowski to Anton. So Anton actually is now having the bit between his teeth and trying to aim for a psychological advantage here by winning this first race.
Certainly is. So Mohammed Alif is under pressure from Inigo Anton. Talk to me about the improvement that we've seen from Inigo Anton in the 2 years we've been doing ERGP. Remember, he wasn't even the best in the Philippines when we started.
Yeah, massive jump that he had, especially the fact that, remember last year, I think the big turning point in his makeup was that Watkins Glen race where he could have won on the final lap when we were DTMs. He hit the side of Mika Hakimi, smacked into the wall, and lost a potential victory right there. So I think from there might have been a huge turning point. He made him a better driver then and become a bit more circumspect.
Fantastic knowledge, fantastic memory, well done. That's why we call him the Anorak Amo Hazik, and he lives up to that perfectly. Mohammed Alif is leading the way at the moment, but Inigo Anton really on his tail. Fastest lap is still a 1:24.5, but the last lap, Alif put in a 1:24.7, so the fastest lap could well come down again.
Indeed, we saw that last time out in the bronze class, how the fastest lap separated between those two drivers, and Alif now gets the fastest lap of the race, or is it no, it's a bit 10 off, but he has his personal best, a 24.6.
24.6. Let's just look at Axel Knockham down in P4. I'm always so impressed by this young fella because he's holding off Alistair Young, and Alistair races and he takes it pretty seriously, Alistair. And for Axel to be holding off somebody like Alistair Young tells you what a real future this kid is going to have.
Yeah, I think we've been waxing lyrical about how well he's been developing in just a couple of years. He's doing ERGP. Let alone the future. As we look at the battle up in front, Alif then under severe pressure, and he's been looking quite ragged over the last few laps. We saw that happen last time out. He actually slipped, and Anton dives on the inside, takes the lead.
Inigo Anton used the switchback really well. Alif Hamilton, ragged is very unusual for Alif Hamilton, but Inigo Anton is there, then nearly tries to take the inside. That was close. That was close.
I didn't expect Alif to fight back that hard immediately because I know for a fact that he will try to hold back a bit and regather his momentum. But in this case, he wants to really go for it as, well, Anton now actually has the ball in his court. He is definitely rattling Alif's cage.
Wow, but you've got to put it together for the full 15 minutes, 6.5 minutes to go. Very, very briefly, I'm going to break away from this race because in the silver edition, Chuck Long Lee has got himself up into P2 in that particular race. He's just overtaken Mohammed Zikri, the bronze edition champion, unofficially. We've still got that to confirm. Nico Sage, though, is leading the way. And Nico Sage is leading the way by over 2 seconds. There's the battle for P8. As Latkovsky, something's happened to Latkovsky.
Yep.
He's gone out.
I wanted to point that out. Something happened to his car, and it looks as though he has actually stopped coming into the Mercedes Arena, into the arena section, and it might just be mechanical failure.
Well, Latkovsky, let's hope it's not an internet connectivity.
It might just be a disconnect because he is completely out of it. So really, then disaster for the North Macedonian.
But it also... whoa. Bit of lagging going on there for Inigo Anton.
Yeah, indeed. That is not what he'd have wanted if it's happened
and
to
a
him.
back marker as well. That's good that they've got out the way.
Nazir Asman. So Nazir then playing it quite well to let the leaders by and then continue on his own race.
So let's look bottom right. Inigo Anton. Is he looking relaxed? He's certainly looking very alert. 5 minutes to go. 2/3 part of this race, and Inigo Anton had the lead, lost the lead, got it back. He's in position to go into the final race of the season with the championship lead to his name.
He's like a Determinator, isn't he? Because he has ice cool veins. It's almost like you dropped it. You're going to be rattled when you lose the lead just like that by going to the gravity trap. But it looks as though that didn't really faze him. He is still having the momentum to be up in front. But right now, he's got 5 minutes left to do to complete part 1 of the job.
He's leading though. He's pulled out a 7.7 of a second lead, which is quite significant.
7/10, yeah, but I thought for a second that he might have lost it there, but coming out the exit onto the Parabolica, he's increased the lead. So Alif, for the moment at least, has no answer to the pace that Anton has. And they're coming up to back markers now.
They are coming up to back markers. It's an awkward position as well. Back markers got to get out the way. Anton leaves the braking lane. Again, well done. Back markers as Alif. You can see how hard Alif Hamilton is having to work there in the pursuit of Inigo Anton. What a battle this is. 1 and 2 in the championship. 1 and 2 in the race. 1 of 2 races today. These two are really having a ding-dong humdinger of a battle.
Absolutely. It's without a doubt the highlight of the season, and we've had quite a few races where they came close together, especially in Sepang. That's probably the closest that we have ever seen Alif and Anton come close to a collision. But at the moment, at least, they're keeping each other a bit of breathing space to prevent that sort of thing happen, especially at the most crucial juncture of the season.
Yeah, Latkovsky, we can confirm, is out. We hope he's able to check back in. Nico Sage is leading the silver edition by quite a margin, 2.4 seconds from Long Lee from Hong Kong. That's Long Lee in the blue and Mohammed Zikri in P3. Let's go back up into our particular race. Oh no, let's have a look at Paul Faustino and Son Idu. We shouldn't forget that there are other racers, and it's also great to see Alex Zapp appearing for Germany. We're loving the international commitment that we've got for ERGP.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the most cosmopolitan league in the world, I would say.
Fantastic. Long may that continue. Back up to the front, though. Philippines versus Singapore. Anton versus Alif. The old Benetton colours leading the way. All those tyres giving way.
I think that was just a deliberate way of going to the corner because I saw Alif doing that before. That didn't give him time. But for Anton, he still manages to gap himself to Alif. And look, it's now 1.3 seconds. So really, he's found a way to drive this car around this circuit.
0.3 faster on the last lap, Inigo Anton, than Alif Hamilton. And look at that, he's pulled a 1.3 second lead.
Well, not to say that Alif's given up the ghost, because you know full well that we still have a race to look forward to. But first blood to Inigo in qualifying, and then the second blood in the race itself. So really then, Anton is the one who has this championship to lose.
And it's reverse grid race, let's not forget, in the in race number 2. Do they mix up the classes in reverse grid?
No, they don't.
So it's reverse grid gold, reverse grid silver.
So they don't have the intricacies of trying to overtake a slower class on the way to the front of the grid. So at least they don't have to worry about that. They just have to worry about drivers in their own class.
Which is 9 drivers in the gold class. We are on board with Muhammad Alif Hamilton, but he is 1.5 seconds down. Back marker gets out of the way. Inigo will not want a back marker to get in his way here. Who is that back marker?
Michael Farrens. That was Michael Farrens in the V12 cars of this one. They're driving V8s because apparently drivability in the V8 is way better than the other two engines.
1:39 to go. Back marker, please get out of the way, says Inigo Anton. A quiet little prayer from the Philippines, and it's successful. Anton, what a drive this has been. Fastest lap, a 1:24.1. He's just posted the fastest lap of the race.
5/10 faster than Alif. Alif has no answer for that right now. And it looks as though pole, the win, and the fastest lap, the first part of a Grand Slam, is already belonging to Anton. This looks definitely good for him.
Where are we? There's going to be one more lap after this, isn't it? They're going to complete this lap. Just about, yeah, they completed quite comfortably. And then there will be one lap after that where Inigo Anton has to make sure. He doesn't need to be perfect. He just needs to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, and the only other thing to worry about is just the back markers, because the silver class also comes into play. Such is the short nature of Hockenheim that you literally have back markers in a 15-minute race. That's amazing.
It certainly is. It also shows you how quick these front two are. Inigo Anton leads the way from Muhammad Alif. Axel Nocom is a long way down in P3, but he is in P3. Alice has dropped behind Paul Faustino and Son Idu, and Alex Zapp is in P7. Michael Farrens and Lakovsky have both dropped out quite a bit. Lakovsky, is he? No, Lakovsky is out of the race completely.
Yeah, he's just chilling right now. We're looking at our own third screen here. He's actually chilling by, waiting for race 2 to start. So that might have been some issue with the connection because he is racing from Europe right now. But we haven't had problems in the past, so probably it's just a freak moment of packet loss that prevented him from racing.
There is the lead that Inigo Anton has coming into the final lap. Well, he's well into this final lap. Muhammad Alif Hamilton will have to settle for second place.
Oh, that's a crabbing silver car. I think that might be Francis Angel Gonzalez, and it is. So Francis is not having a good couple of rounds anyway. But Anton then on the way to a race 1 victory.
So, Inigo Anton, it is going to be perfect. It's going to be fastest lap as well. That'll move him on to 123 points. And there it is. He will have a 9-point advantage going into the final race of the season. Inigo Anton, the job is done. He relaxes, but he knows there's still work to do. But it means that he doesn't have to race against Alif. He just has to race against himself.
Yes, and by mental arithmetic, because it's 9 points, it has to be at least at best 5th. Anton needs to finish 5th or better to secure the title. Alif has to win at all costs.
And I can confirm, incidentally, that Nico Sage has actually gone and won the championship in the silver class. Nico Sage comes over the start-finish line. This is a brilliant performance by young Nico. He will take the victory. Nico Sage, for him, this has been a really, really good season. This will be his 4th consecutive race 1 win.
Yep.
This is a commanding performance from young Nico.
Absolutely. He has a certain je ne sais quoi about him, to be honest.
Je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais pas.
Bon, oui. So really then, it's no surprise that he's going to come across the line to win here and win the silver championship. Bravo!
Bravo, young fella, indeed. So there is a title won. There is a smile. I'm sure that will be the first of many titles. So the victory, Inigo Anton and fastest lap. Alif second, Axel Nocom on the podium for 7-Star Garage in P3. Faustino, Son Idu, Alistair and Alex Zapp completing the top 7. Nico Sage, Longley, another good performance from Longley. Mohamed Zikri in P3. Alan Drake Cruz recovering to P4. Noma Riparip in P5. Well, so we ought to at some stage try to talk to Nico, though probably after the next race.
Yep, très bien.
And we dare not talk to Inigo or Alif at this stage.
Yeah, we don't want to, because the focus is still on. They're still in very hyper-focused state, so we do not want to break that momentum that they have that comes into the second race.
So it means you're going to have to do with us two just for the next couple of minutes, and while we get ready for race number 2, Inigo Anton. Wow, that's seriously good.
Yeah. I mean, the last time we had these two race together, they were like the class of the field, but Alif was just slightly better off than Inigo at that time. But it looks as though Inigo has turned up the wick and really gave the fight to Alif, and Alif has no answer to that at this current juncture.
Just astonishing the improvement from Inigo Anton. If he looks after himself, if he stays out of problems, he's guaranteed a victory. If he gets a podium, he's won it.
Yeah. In fact,
no, not quite. Actually,
fifth place.
15, 12. Yeah, top five, and he's won it.
Top 5 and is enough. And judging by the way that how they were headed the rest of the field, it looks as though that job may be easier done than also said.
Again, Lakovsky might still come in as a wild card, as a spoiler. Alistair Young is able to put in good lap times as well in race number 2. We are 30, though, so there's a slight problem with our
live timing
up there, with our live timing.
We have got a bit of live timing problems, and the server has somehow reset itself. But I think by right we should have all the grip positions sorted for race number 2.
We should do. We'll just sort this out. Apologies on this, ladies and gents. We don't want to ruin the last race of the season.
The ultimate final race of the season, we might add. The final race.
Of season 8. We started this in March 2020, thinking it'd be good fun to fill some time.
During the pandemic, of course, and we've had brilliant racing for the last couple of years to do so.
Okay, we're just going to go for a quick break as we sort out these technical problems ahead of... Okay, we are back live. The race has started. We missed the first minute and a half. Sorry about that. We just like to keep you on your toes. What's happening? Well, Mohammed Alif is straight into the lead, but he's not the man who we really ought to be keeping a focus on. Our focus should be on this man, Inigo Anton, because he is the man who took a 9-point lead coming into this final race of the season. There are 15 points plus 2 points for a fastest lap, so 17 points maximum available for Alif Hamilton. That means 8 points required. Actually 9 points required, so 10 points, which is
P3. So
P3.
At best, Anton's in the position right now. He is in third, and he's doing the minimum requirement that he needs to do to actually clinch this title away from Alif. But the job's still not done yet. He still has 12 and a half minutes left to go in this race.
Now there will be a story if his Filipino teammate Axel Nockham was to knock him out of P3. That would, I'm sure that'd have an international consequence in the Philippines.
It would need a tribunal at The Hague to resolve that.
Indeed. Just we'll break away from Nico Sage. He is the champion of the Silver Edition. Congratulations to Nico Sage, as he's just involved in a little bit of aggro there with Alex Zapp. Zapp
actually got hit by Sharik Zulkarnain, so Sharik just eased him off into the barrier, just like how Vettel got hit into the wall in 2018.
So this is the champion of Silver, but the man who's leading that particular race is Sharik Zulkarnain from FSA Racing in car number 7 in the blue vehicle. But Nico Sage will be trying to get close. Nico Sage doesn't need to win, but I'm sure Nico Sage would like to go out with a victory. In fact, let's just ride on with Nico. Oh, tell you what, Inigo Anton, he is chasing Alistair Young, and Anton moves into P2 ahead of Alistair Young. Oh, Alistair tries the switchback, doesn't quite come off, so we've now got an outright leader in the ERGP Gold Class final race of the season. This is your potential champion. If he holds this position for the next 11 minutes, He will be taking the title for the first time.
Wow, taking the fight to Alif. How often do we say that in the ERGP series? We've not seen that in the first 3 seasons when Alif romped the titles, apart from a couple of close shaves, especially with Naki Bazlan. But now, literally, like for like, he is actually being matched, if not beaten slightly, by Anton in most of the departments.
We're on board with Alif at the moment. Just talk to me about his driving style at the moment. I mean, you said he was a little bit ragged in race number 1. I didn't see it, but I don't have a racing driver's eyes. What are you seeing as being ragged about his work?
If you see the car slip slightly for coming through the corners on power, that means that he wanted to get on the power early, but the car just doesn't want to comply to it. So he is actually pushing the car, and he just couldn't get it to turn. So in that race 1, when he was ahead of Anton, he looked really ragged. He just couldn't keep Anton behind. But it looks as though in the second race, he's doing the complete opposite, and he managed the gap himself and Anton at this point in time.
Amo Hazik with the analysis there. Great analysis as well, though. Inigo Anton, though, I tell you what, he's just responded to by posting the fastest lap of the race, a 1:24.8. So Muhammad Alif needs the win, needs fastest lap, needs Inigo to muck up in some way, shape or form. He's gutting the win, but he doesn't have the fastest lap, and Inigo doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
Nope, he doesn't. And the fact that the only ever time that we saw Anton put a foot wrong was when he actually went off coming into the stadium section. That's where he went into the gravel, lost the lead, but he managed to recoup that quite nicely and pretend as if it never happened. Right here.
Let's have a look at Inigo Anton. There he is in P2. Alistair Young it is who's trailing back in P3. But just keep it nice and easy. Slip sliding away, just control your race. Tell you what, he's got a lot of supporters on Facebook in the Philippines, and there will be celebrations on the streets of Manila tonight.
Absolutely. And to take a bit of the sting away from the battle for first and second, we unfortunately don't have Cody Nikolai-Lukovsky for the second race. He looks as though he has not appeared for the second race.
Well, it was pretty good until he had 1 or 2 gremlins, but I'm sure both Alif and I'm particularly sure Inigo will be particularly happy about that.
They'll be absolutely relieved. And we can actually see right now on our third screen that he is hanging back. So I think he's just calling it a day. For now, he's going to move on to doing other things. There he is. That's Nikolai Lukovsky, the FIA Motorsports Games champion from 2019.
I do like the fact he's not just disappeared out of it, that he's showing an interest in the race. I do like that respect he's showing to these other racers. I'm also liking the fact that Alistair Young is in a bit of a race with Axel Knockham. Axel Knockham, again, wax lyrical, please. This is our last chance this season. He is in the gold class. What is he, 11 years of age?
10 this year.
10?
10? Yeah, 10 this year.
Positive veteran.
Yes. And also the fact that he's had a couple of podiums this year, and last time out, actually 2 rounds ago in Silverstone, he gave Anton quite a huge scare when he led for quite a while before Anton fought back. But he really could give the fight to him when he had the opportunity.
Back up to the silver edition, and Nico Sage has got himself into the lead. He's just gone around the outside of Sarik Sulkanen. We said he'd like to finish the season with a victory. It looks like young Nico Sage is going to get that victory. Again, I look at the screens and I can't actually believe that what I'm seeing is a driver that young performing with that maturity on the circuit.
Absolutely. It's almost, it deceives you in a way, doesn't it? Because you think that, oh, okay, we're seeing a guy named Nico Sage. Big deal. He might just be one of those other fast guys. But then when you see that the age comes into play, it shows that, whoa, they are really maturing quite fast, and they could actually just have more room for improvement in the future.
Just fantastic. So ERGP will continue. We're now into our 3rd year of operations. This is season 8. You had the E1 Championship, you had the Endurance Championships, in which we're 2/6 of the way through another long season. And we hope to be introducing more and more young lads like this into the racing scene. Muhammad Alif is leading the way. He's going to go out with a bang. It's typical Alif. Even if he can't win the championship, he's going to win the race and give it his best shot.
Yeah, indeed. He would not do any questionable tactics. Remember, he has the namesake Hamilton. We saw that in 2016 where Nico Rosberg was on the cusp of winning the title. He backed off, wanted to force the other drivers to overtake, and it didn't work. So I don't see Alif doing that here. He's going to win it fair and square, come what may.
How dare you take the name of Saint Hamilton in vain? It's not allowed. But Alif leading the way. Fastest lap still, though, belongs to Inigo Anton. Inigo, a 1:24.5. Oh, no, 1:24.4. I apologize. So Muhammad Alif, he looks like, right, okay. So Inigo needs to make sure he focuses for the remaining 6 minutes.
Yeah, he would just take the consolation of getting the fastest lap and try to win the race. Anton would not be bothered by that one bit. He would definitely be assured for the fact that he is going to win this title. And second place right now is more than the requirement that has been set for him.
And he's a good 6 seconds clear of Alistair Young, who's in P3. Be good for Alistair to pick himself up a podium. Again, he's a consistent competitor at ERGP, has been since the very start. Maybe doesn't get the results his dad would like him to get, but he's always competitive there, is Alistair. And Axel Knockon has just been knocked off his perch a little bit into P4. Paul Faustino, again, another regular competitor from Team Garo in the Philippines. We don't often focus on Paul Faustino because he's rarely in the top 5 or 6. But again, you need these competitors to push the others, Amo.
Absolutely, and for Paul, for example, it's just a matter of he could try to get the results here and there, pick up points, and crucially, even podiums when the going gets tough. And then there's some people who actually fall off and get some opportunities there. So for him, it's just a matter of consistency.
Certainly is. We have got 4.5 minutes to go of this season. Thank you for tuning in on Twitch and on Facebook. It's great to get your comments. It's great to get your participation. Muhammad Alif Hamilton is still leading the way. The green Benetton colours of the champion-elect Inigo Anton. Anton, for the first time, looking to win an ERGP season. Short season though it is, you've still got to be consistent in 3 out of the 4 rounds. You've still got to produce your very best, and they slide around. Bit of a stock car stuff there.
Yeah, it's almost like 90s stock cars where those cars just barely turn anyway. So really, that's how you had to wring the necks of these cars to get around corners and firewall the throttle on the way out of it.
So Alif still leads the way. Let's get on board with Inigo Anton. 4 minutes to go. Also, let's go down the list. We went down the list. We had Son Idu is in P6. We haven't really mentioned Michael Farrant, who's a new guy to me, but Michael in the old Ferrari red on medium tyres. Everybody else, all the F1 cars have taken medium tyres, but he'll be enjoying playing at this level.
Yeah, indeed, and he's been with us since the first round of the 8th season, based in Shanghai, and looks as though he's loving racing here in Asia.
Well, there's not a lot else to do in Shanghai at the moment, is there?
Can't say that.
Okay, Nico Sage leads the way in the silver edition. The champion, Zulkernan in P2. Nazir Asman has got himself up into P3 because Long has fallen off. Chuck Longley has fallen off into P4. Alan Drake Cruz is challenging for P5. And Mohammed Zikri down in P6.
Yeah, we're looking at Drake Cruz right now. There he is, focusing, trying to get up to P4 in the race for the silver class, and fighting with Chuck Longley, who was in the wars in the bronze category just now. Just a shame for him to lose the championship after such a disappointing race 2, actually. It looks as though race 2 is not his forte because he performs well mostly in race 1.
Alan Drake Cruz, as you say, he's had a very, very decent season. He'll still come second in the overall championship standings. He's picked up a P2 in 3 races, actually. It's only Nico Sage who is head and shoulders above him. So you're quite right. It's been a very respectable season for Alan Drake Cruz.
And for Nico, likewise, worst finish he's had is a 3rd. He's never been off the top 3 throughout the entire season. That is the statistics that make champions look really good.
Okay, let's get back into the gold class. And I tell you what, Inigo Anton is just closing the gap a little bit. He's maybe wanting to go out in a blaze of glory. Let's hope it's not truly a blaze and he actually controls things. Well,
speaking of control, he definitely has control of that car. A 24.2 was the fastest lap that he's had. Last time it was 24.3, while Alif was a 24.4. So they're matching each other's lap times up to the 10th of a second up in front here.
Inigo Anton does have the fastest lap. So that takes that'll add just a little bit of gloss. I'm sure he'd love the double win. But he won the important race. Race number 1 on the 25 points. That's so important to win.
Indeed. And that was the one that pretty much gave him the impetus to actually go ahead in the second race and just hang back a bit, because he knows full well that he's got one hand on the trophy. Just doesn't need to throw it away because of that.
1 minute and 20 remaining of this season. Don't forget, we've got endurance season. We'll be announcing season 9 imminently. And we will keep going on season 9. And there's talk of spring championships and all kinds of Alex Young creativity, just to keep everybody's interest high on ERGP. We're also trying to spread the globe. Alex Zapp from Germany. And the Italians are being involved as well. So we're just trying to spread it. Maybe we look at changing the start times for one or two of these races, just to put more pressure on your Inigo Antons and your Alifs and your Nakibs, etc. Nakib, who's not racing this season.
Yeah, it's quite a shame to not see him here, but of course, he's got actual real-life commitments as well. In fact, for most of these guys, the real-life racing scene is also beginning. Like, for example, Anton, last time out, he couldn't join because of real racing, and he had a great weekend because of it. So, really then, it's a matter of trying to balance two commitments in one go.
Okay, so we are coming now to the end. This will be the final lap, and Inigo Anton will close in on the back of Mohammed Alif Hamilton as they come through. They will finish this lap, and the season will belong to Inigo Anton. The race will belong to Mohammed Alif Hamilton. As the time is over, Alif comes into the double left-hander, then the right-hander, and goes over the finish line. The victory to Alif Hamilton.
No, yeah, we're still in the final sector. We just came into stage.
There we go. Hockenheim. They all look the same after a while. I apologise. Getting excited. Take it over, Amo.
Right, here we go then. Coming up through the final 3 corners of the lap and the season, Alif will definitely take the victory here in front of Inigo Anton. But the championship most definitely belongs to Anton. As we now come out the final corner, Alif takes the spoils here. The war, though, belongs to Inigo Anton. What an absolutely brilliant season he's had.
Yeah, the victory, Alif Hamilton, congratulations to him. But huge, huge congratulations for the first time. After 8 attempts, Inigo Anton is the champion of ERGP Gold Class. We'll just focus on the rest. We'll have a look at Nico Sage and how he gets on before we have a chat with Inigo Anton. I'm sure he'll hold on for us. Nico Sage has taken the victory already ahead of this final round of the season, ahead of this final race of the season. Nico takes another victory. It's a win double for Nico Sage. He has got himself a healthy lead over Sharik Zulkernaem. Once he got into P1, he's just raced away, and he is class above. Looking forward to seeing how Nico develops into the top level. And there is Nico Sage. We will be talking to him just as soon as he goes over the finish line, which is coming up imminently.
Yep, and he will definitely go straight for the camera, because every single time that he wins a race, he always looks towards his camera. He knows full well. There we go. Pumps the fist on his chest. He is absolutely ecstatic. And look at that. Bang on cue. Look straight at the camera, and I think we'll have a word with him.
Indeed we will. Nico, are you tuned into us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I can.
Hey, congratulations. What a way to win the season. Back-to-back wins. And you look a class apart in the silver edition. Was that easy?
No, it wasn't easy. The middle part was interesting with the man in P2. It was hard to keep the pace up. My tires were going down a bit, and the rear tires were pretty much dead. But yeah, this season was amazing. A lot of fun.
So, so next season we'll actually be elevating you into the gold class, into the Alifs and the Inigo Antons. How will you practice? How you prepare for that kind of a challenge?
It's gonna be hard, but I'll try to practice as much as I can. But yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations on a fabulous season. You are our champion for the silver edition, and please keep working as hard as you can at the racing, but don't forget your schoolwork as well.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well done, Nico Sage, the champion. But let's go straight into it. If Inigo Anton is possibly available for us. Inigo, at the 8th attempt, we will get on to you in just a sec. At the 8th attempt, you finally got yourself this championship.
Yeah, actually, I think I missed the first global edition. I'm not sure, but yeah, finally, all I could say, it's been such a really tough championship, especially with Alif. He's just been pushing me, and I knew going into this round that I had to put even extra effort to try and just beat him. Ever since Monday, I've just been putting in the hours, and it paid off in qualifying. And then race 1 didn't go to plan in the first lap, going into the gravel and everything, messing things up. But at least I was able to get back. And then I knew in the second race, I just had to finish right behind him and I will secure the championship. So very, very mentally straining, but, happy and super relieved.
Yeah, race 1 was the key for today. When you went into the gravel, I know in the commentary, both Amo and I were wondering whether or not you'd actually blown your opportunity, because you have blown opportunities in the past.
Yeah, definitely. It just going off the gravel, like right after that, I could just think of all the punctures and mistakes that I've had in E1 and ERGP. So it's like, I just had to stay calm. At least it was the first lap, so I had about 13 minutes to catch up, and eventually I was able to do it.
So I know how much work you put in because we follow your work on Facebook, but this is almost a full-time commitment for you now with ERGP and your real racing. What future do you see for yourself?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. Actually, I missed the third round because I had an endurance race in real life where we finished second overall. But yeah, it's just been really tough switching from back and forth from real cars to sim cars. But I know at the end of the day, it'll just help each other. Doing lots of hours in the sim also translate into the real world and vice versa. So, just putting in as much time and have as much seat time, it just really helps me a lot.
Well, congratulations once again. We're thrilled. The work you've put in to get to the level of Alif is just astonishing. And Alex is in the background saying a big thumbs up to you. And to your fans in the Philippines, thanks to for their support to ERGP as well. We hope to see you around for Season 9. So, the champion, at long last,
yes,
Inigo Anton. Thoughts on the season, Amo, very quickly?
Absolutely. Well, it was low at one point, but then it got really exciting towards the end because of the tie championship points. So really, the final round has absolutely delivered for both gold and silver. And for now, right, I see that Anton has not really sunk in that feeling yet, because it looks as though he is conflicted. He is feeling achievement, but he has not felt it yet. So it will probably take a bit of time to sink in.
Yeah, well, he's worked so hard for it. So has Nico Sage. Nico will be elevated up to gold next season. In the bronze medal, Mohamed Zikri was still to confirm, but we think he's won the bronze by a single point. In fact, it is confirmed. And we had a three-way battle for the title in the Copper edition. So season 8 has possibly been our most competitive season yet.
Absolutely. With titles going to the final rounds of the season in 3 classes, that is just serving up a teaser for what's to come in future seasons, isn't it, Des?
Okay, all right. I think we've got one little thing before we go. We're going to talk to Cody, who was a guest appearance for Cody in the race here today. But Cody, if you can hear us, it seemed you had connectivity problems when you were going pretty well in race 1.
Yeah, first of all, hi. Thanks for having me for this final round. But yeah, I was having a bit of a issue with the internet, actually. So somewhere in the middle of race 1, I got kicked out of the race. Cars were disappearing off track. I got thrown out of the Zoom call. So that was a bit of a shame. I couldn't rejoin for race 2. But yeah, it was nice while it lasted, and I had a good time, if anything. So this is just a little bit of a kind of a bittersweet motivation to maybe come back again for season 9 and give it a proper shot.
Well, we'd love you to come back. Thank you for your commitment to the other drivers, your professionalism, and actually staying on board, because it's so easy for you to drop out and go away. So that's very much in your favour as well. Can I ask, though, your thoughts on the opposition that you've come across? Inigo Anton has won the championship, and Alif Hamilton is a previous champion. Are you surprised by the quality of the racing that we have on Race Room in Asia?
Oh, definitely. I was really impressed by Anton's pacing in qualifying. I don't think it was really that much down to the car, because as we know in Formula 90 there are 3 variants, and Anton and Alif, they were driving with the V8 variant, if I'm correct.
Correct.
And it seems like it has a little bit of an advantage out of corners, but still, for them to be that fast with ballast on and all that stuff and everything going on around them, that was really, really impressive. And I think that's just a testament to the quality of the drivers that are over there in that region. And yeah, if anything, it should be a nice chance for anyone because it's a global series, for any of the other drivers around the world that are interested to maybe come for a nice challenge. Obviously,
very good of you to say that.
The goal as well. Yeah. So it would be interesting for sure.
Please spread the word for us. We're very excited to have you on board. Alex Young in particular was very, very happy that you agreed to join in. We're sorry the internet connectivity wasn't quite as strong, but we hope to see you in season 9.
Yep, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, so
professionalism,
indeed, quite right, and a good example that tells that we've got we've still got Alif. He can still improve. Nakib can still improve. Inigo has shown you can improve dramatically.
Yes, absolutely.
So season 8 comes to an end. Massive thanks to Alex Young and Amita, who do a vast amount of work behind the scenes, and all the guys who do all the timings, who do the stewarding. We've still got 1 or 2 stewarding issues that we need to sort out for this season. Season 8 has been and gone. Season 9 we will get onto you imminently. But from Amo Hazik, myself, Des Corkill, and particularly Alex Young, this has been the ERGP Season 8.